Hello. Right, that's the most anticlimactic start to fucking anything. So here's what we're going to do. There's no one here to give me an intro, so I'm going to give myself an intro. You up for it, Glasgow? Yes. We've got to do better than that. Fucking hell. This is the first time we've been out in ages. Are you up for it, Glasgow? Yes. Fuck yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your host this evening, Mr. Billy Kirkwood. It was me the whole fucking time. Hello, I love the fact I took my mask off when you all went fucking silent. Oh my God, they've bought Billy Connolly off Wish. What the fuck am I looking at here? Didn't even know Susan Boyle had a beard. Welcome everyone to Braw Cast Live. It's not I love the fact as well, you guys went, I'm not sitting in the front row, I don't want to get involved, I'm not sitting in the front row, but by sitting there and no one's sitting in the front row, you are still the fucking front row, right? So it's not the TV. The way it works here is we're going to have some fun, there is going to be some swearing. Are we all right with swearing? I love one woman at the back. No, I've come here clutching a fucking Bible. What's going to happen is we've got some brilliant guests for you. You come on stage, quick picture. Fucking yes. This is what Babe Station looks like in Scotland now. It's just me and a woman from Greg's, one boob out. So here's what's happening. The guests are going to come on. We're going to have a bit of chat. It isn't the telly. We need you to hit the stage with as much love as you can and laugh, love, have a good time, and we're going to have ourselves a bloody great evening. You up for Glasgow? Yes. All right. And if anyone comes in late, they're getting fucking sat there and fucking destroyed. Who's up for it? In fact, if they come in, let's all kick fuck out them. Come on, it's been ages since we've managed just to milky somebody. Who's up for it? You're up for it, aren't you? Fucking yes, my man. It's like, this is a plastic glass, but someone, oh, here they come. Oh, isn't he? Fucking, I got so excited there. Fucking yes, we're going to get to give somebody a good old-fashioned kick in. We just want to double check. Where are all the people from Glasgow? Give us a cheer. Outside of Glasgow? It's the same people. Get to fuck. What was that? I was sitting there going, I'm not telling this fucking gypsy anything, right? I don't make fun of where people from. I come from Ayrshire. I'm so inbred. My mum is younger than me, right? So we're going to go, oh, here comes late cometh. The seats down the front. The seats down the front. Are they really going to sit down the front? Remember the agreement. Shut up, you! I didn't know my dad was at the gig. So what's going to happen is we're going to bring JJ on and we're going to make this fucking happen. So I need somebody to start the clapping and cheering. Sir, what is your name, my friend? Al. Everyone say hi, Al. Hi, Al. Where are you from, Al? Belfast. I love the fact you said that and it sounded like a threat. Belfast. I will cut you open like a tin of beans. Good for you, sir. Who are you here with tonight? Just some friends? Al, it's nice and simple. You're going to clap your hands. You're going to go wild and crazy all the way around the room. And I'm going to bring JJ on. Is that a deal? Al, you are looking at me like a skid mark in a towel. Fucking loosen up. You are loose. Fucking you wee flirt. Good for you. I'll see you at home. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Start some clapping out. 1, 2, 3, go! All the way around, ladies and gentlemen. Some hooping and hollering. Brilliant. Please welcome JJ! Bow, 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 bow. This one here, 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 this one here. Fucking yes.
Mate, that's the best intro I've ever had. Thank
you
very much.
Yes. I'll do that anytime you want. I can come round and do it at the bedroom in your house if you want. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to get pumped. Right. Not you. Al's got that covered. Fucking yes. Fucking me and you in the megabus shagging like a nightmare. Like a nightmare? That's not a phrase.
No,
right?
It's not, no, you're scaring me
Sorry,
already.
I had a Red Bull before this gig started. I will level with you, Glasgow. I'm off my fucking tits. Red Bull. How are you, JJ, first of all?
I'm good.
We're not doing the championships, but we are doing this.
Yes, this is a filler for the championships. We usually have the Beard and Moustache Championships here every year, every February. Unfortunately, with the mask situation, we can't have a beard competition.
No, that'd be weird.
That would be very weird. I think everybody would either win or lose.
Yes.
So... Yeah, we're doing the broadcast live. We have the broadcast running, and Billy, I think you're aware of this. This is actually episode 100.
Fucking yes!
Yeah, so when I started the broadcast, I just started it on my own. We got 8 episodes done, and then I was running out of time trying to run the business at the same time. And I brought in Billy because, yes, he's just a handsome motherfucker. So we got Billy in. He's done 92. This is 92nd episode. So
Fucking yes,
we are at 100 total.
100, and 10 of them have been good. So, you know what I mean? This is...
Mate, we're still
this
here.
is
We're
exciting.
still here.
But we got some great guests tonight.
We do. We have Mr. Lee Johnston, and we have Dom Herbertson as well. Both motorcycle racers. They race Isleman TT. And they've got a few stories, so we're looking forward to getting them on stage.
Definitely. And don't forget to go to the shop and get yourself your Braw Cast Live beard oil.
That's it. We have a limited edition. We always do a limited edition oil for the championships, but obviously, so we're doing the Braw Cast Live limited edition oil. There's only 100 made, so they are available at the stand now.
Shall we bring on the boys?
Yes. Lee and Dom, would you like to come to the stage, lads?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. You're far too polite, Glasgow. Really make some noise. Let them see how they're going. Yes! Keep it going till they make it to the stage and it gets awkward. Here it is, here it is. Here they come. They're milking it now.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking yes. Open for business.
Are we swapping over? What we're doing?
Oh, fuck.
One each side, make it naughty.
Well, you do whatever you feel when you need to. One each side, make it naughty. Not the first guy to say that to me.
You're safe there. You're safe. You're on this one, buddy. Can you reach that?
There you go.
There we go. Nice.
Fucking hell, it's quiet now, eh?
I know, why silence.
It's the fucking... I think some people might have drifted in thinking this is a play. We're doing the formation of the Backstreet Boys. How are you guys? How are you, first of all?
To be fair, I thought it was going to be Snow White with the height of me and him. You know, the dwarves coming on the stage.
Whoa. We can't say dwarves. We've got to say Shetland people. All right? We can't say dwarves. Sliders, if you like, sliders.
Fucking hell, he could have
I think I just cancelled myself.
Curtain's coming down now.
Swear to God, man, I don't know what was in that snowball I had before the gig, but fuck me. I am fucking buzzing. First of all, first time in Glasgow? Have you been here before?
No, I've been here a couple of times. Last time I was here, I got robbed. I shit thee not, honestly. I was working on the railway line and they did me van hour. They might as well scribed into the bonnet with their keys, fuck you, go home. You know, honestly.
What you don't know is, though, the guy that did your van is here tonight. Just imagine if we brought him on, how awkward it would be. But you're delighted to be back in Glasgow?
Yeah, of course. Now, to be fair,
He's fucking lying. That is not the truth.
No, Lee, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm the only person in this room that can't grow a beard.
Funny you should say that.
Shut up, man.
Nice.
Now, that could be several things,
Now
to be fair.
Well, it does look
At one
suspect.
point, me and John were discussing whether or not we were going to do Braw Cast Live or the first ever Braw Pubes and... Because we could cover the mask, but we could. There's a business to be made there.
That's true. We should have
There's a
done
business to be made there. If you wouldn't mind putting on your head marking.
the Ball and Mustache Championship.
Bloody hell, tell Putin I'm coming to the border, son.
Here we
I'm
go.
right in this, guys.
Fucking yes. You put this on, you're now officially Scottish. We have got
There
to
we
fill you
go.
with heroin, though.
Nice.
What do we think?
Yes. Yeah?
One of us?
Is he accepted? Is he accepted?
Is your accent changed?
No. Straight,
Well,
same shite as
why,
normal.
why not have a go at a Scottish accent just to really see how well it goes?
Your eyes glazed over when you said that. There's no way you're catching
Well,
me out.
because
like
I'm
that.
aware how many big, hulking, hairy men there are in this room. And I would love to hear your attempt at a Scottish accent before we kick things off.
Nah. I'm going to have to work into
Come on,
man,
say,
I know
say
it's been-
tablet.
Tablet?
Burglar alarm. Burger. Wimpy.
Bugger.
I'm gonna pump you.
Hold on, do you want me to say that, or is that naturally
No.
an invite straight off the bat?
No, I wouldn't be that forward. I'm a married man.
You'd be really forward if you're married.
I've got to work and get in my hole for about a month and a half. And she's here tonight. No,
Is she the one who did me van hour?
she is the one that did your van. First of all, tell us about the podcast. First of all, we've got to talk about the podcast, Chasing the Racing. Fucking. That looks weirder. That kind of that looks like Bruce Forsyth has been regenerated. Could we pop that bad boy?
To be fair, I don't know what I'm doing here, so there you go. So, no, yeah, the podcast, it's hard. it's a pile of shite, to be fair. I'm not really here to sell it. I'm just here to stand in for a proper podcast. So unfortunately, Bruce from Teapot One, a proper beard-wielding Viking of a fella who is blatantly from Edinburgh because he's far too posh to be from Glasgow. But he's and obviously he's got the old coronavirus there, God love him, and he can't make it. So I am literally the bottom of the barrel that John went scraping for
I know,
to be
I
here.
had to rake through my contact list and Dom was at the bottom. Yeah.
Jamie Coward's not available.
I think you find I was just above him and I got the hosting job on the broadcast. But tell us about the podcast, Chasing the Racing. What is it all about?
So the podcast, me and Chrissy Rouse, who's actually fast on a motorcycle,
Right.
he came up with him and his dad came up with the concept of going, there's not really a proper racing podcast out there. So now, in your best Geordie accent, say Chasing the Racing. Here we go.
Fucking yes, this is BAFTA award winner. Chasing the Racing. Chasing
That was
the Racing.
that.
No, I haven't
No, that
fucking
was Scott-
started yet. Fucking hell, even Sean Connery didn't go straight into James Bond, you know. He warmed up first, he had a wank. I'm available for children's parties. Chasing the Racing. Fucking smashed it. Thank you.
To be fair, I think that's a round of applause, that, to be fair.
No,
I
thank you.
think, you know,
That's what he fucking sounds like, doesn't he?
to be fair, I think we should...
The big hairy bakers. That's what he
Lee, come on, you're there you go, son.
he sounds like the big hairy bakers or whatever they're called, the chefs. Have you seen them? They're Geordie, aren't they?
Oh, crap. To be
Go
fair,
again,
you
go
could
again.
double up as stunt doubles for these two. You know, when they're eating a dodgy curry, step in.
This isn't a fucking roast, you know. You've come here wearing a hat of someone that's in Shed 7. Shut the fuck up. How rude. I went for this look. I'm a proper Scotsman. I'm wearing shorts when it's a fucking hurricane outside. But the podcast, you have had amazing folk in it from the world of racing. What's been some of your favourites?
To be fair, it was shite before Lee got on, you know what I mean? It's actually being able to get someone with a fair bit of crack about them. But no, the best thing about our platform, without blowing smoke up our ass, but the fact is, you've got racers talking to other racers.
Right.
And normally in media fronts, you know, people like using Lee as an example, and obviously Lewis Rollo in the crowd, you know, they're not speaking to a person, they're trying to speak to a magazine or a television program,
Okay.
and it's not coming across quite natural. So when
Yeah.
we're talking about what was the best crash you've ever had and what's the fittest grid girl you've banged, they're actually speaking to a person, you know what I mean?
The thing I like about Chasing the Racing as well, sorry, Billy, the thing I like about Chasing the Racing as well is you hear stories.
I'm all right. No, I thought you said something, what's the weirdest Greek girl you've banged? Is that what you said?
Grid girl, sorry. That makes
Grid.
sense. I made that sound like I've done, me. No, I've done none of them. I'm good.
No, take that one off yet.
John.
That was, I like hearing the scenes, the stories behind the scenes, the stuff you wouldn't read about in magazines. You know, you can actually get a bit cracking. If you've been at the events, you know what you guys are talking about, kind of like the hospitality buses and stuff like that, what goes on in there. And it's just, it's interesting getting a rider's perspective rather than just a magazine's perspective. That's what I like about your podcast.
No, I couldn't agree more. And the fact is, it's so commercialised sport now, isn't it, in general? You know what I mean? They're asking the same questions year in year. I'm going to slag off ITV straight off the bat.
Fucking
you know?
go for it.
Go for it. I'm straight in there, right? You could turn on the TT every year for the rest of your life and you're going to get the exact same programme with just different riders. To be fair, you must get pissed off. They must ask you the same questions all the time. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, because most of them revolve around me being fucking short, and they ask me a short question. It's like, no, I used to play basketball, mate. Fucking wasn't for me, so I thought I'll just shrink. I do like being this height. Oh, is it restricting? No, they say diminutive. Is that the
Right, yeah.
What the? I don't even know what that fucking means, but I know it's not a compliment. So, like, things like, this is frustrating me now, even. But yeah, shit like that there. They ask you the same question, or even when you listen to the commentary, they go, oh, yeah, because he's a smaller rider, he's a lighter rider, whatever. Everybody's fucking heard that before. Talk about something different, and that's exactly what he was saying about the podcast. You know what I mean? You can ask genuine questions, because I think why the sport, all professional sports now, there's so much money involved.
Yeah.
So then everyone is at a risk of upsetting the chain of money, and therefore then not having a job. So it's like you wouldn't walk straight into work on Monday and start slagging the fuck out of your boss because he's the one that pays your wages. It's the same thing on the television. You can't tell the truth all the time. So we come here and just slag them all to fucking death. So it's brilliant.
Bash on, man. Bash on.
But like Lee's saying, that advantage of actually sitting there and being able to unwind, and the most important thing about the platform is it's 100% neutral ground. We're not governed by anyone. We don't have to police anything. And more importantly, when me and Chrissy started, it's hard to believe, but we said to each other, we're never going to dish out a cheap shot because you wouldn't want it done back to you. It's all about having the crack. So if someone says something out of turn, it's a bit like, look, we can work around that and go for it. But once you relax someone, get them down on their terms, it's like tonight, man, you're just taking the piss out of people. But people drop the guard, get the shoulders rolled back, and then the truth starts blurting out. You regret it the next morning. But at the time, it's fantastic viewing, like. Wait, I think so anyway. I don't look at the numbers. Disappointment's a real thing. You've got to handle it, like.
Right. Well, the one question I've been wanting to ask you about, this is going to sound weird, is your finger. Now, I was told to ask you.
There was a deep breath there. Call me.
Has it got a reputation, Billy, has it?
What's it? Well, I don't know. Has it?
I don't know.
Oh, right, anyway. But getting on to a couple of things. First of all, when did this podcast all start for you? When was it all like kicking this thing off?
Jesus, it must have been like 2.5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's got out of hand, to be fair.
Right.
And it's like, it's that intimidating thing of like, where do you go? And I think, John, you must have gone through the same thing. You're thinking, and you're like, together you'd be going, where do we take the next step? But like, without doubt, we're reaching nothing short every month, like 160,000 people.
Fuck.
Every month. I don't know what's going on here. There you are. Someone's unplugging the job. There you go. Oh, I like you. There was one solo clap. You hold the line, son. There you go. But it's a case of, no, like reaching them numbers every month is really... Lee, what?
Metal in my leg.
Have you got? It's literally the metal in your leg setting off feedback. You must be a fucking nightmare at concerts.
Got a bit of lead in me pencil, mate. It's just fucking throwing her off.
I love that fucking, like, I don't know, the Rolling Stones are on stage. What the fuck is going on? You know, me, mate, I've got a metal rod in my leg. We've got to get on to the injuries.
Sorry about that,
No, get straight on, mate.
We've got to get on to the injuries. Lee, obviously we had you on the podcast. We got to know so much about your career. But in terms of, I think last time we caught up, everything was shut down. Everything, like, nothing was kind of happening. How's it been since things started opening up?
Yeah, it's pretty good now because the rest of the world's open apart from Scotland, so we don't really. It's pretty good for us down in England. Yeah, where everyone's having a right good laugh at you sat at home up here. So, yeah, it's not going bad.
Fucking no. We go out. We go to the shop.
The shop.
That's what we call it. There's one shop in Scotland that's open. It's called Lidl's. You can go there and buy a canoe and a parachute and a fucking litre of ham.
Say what you said earlier about the bread. Go on, please.
It doesn't make any sense. No, right. So basically my measurement for whether or not you're posh is not is whether you've ever freezed bread. It was fucking funny over there. If you haven't freezed bread, then fuck you, you're posh. That's basically it. This isn't about... I'm beginning to think this is a fucking intervention.
I know. Me and Chris are going to interview... sorry, that's false. Me and Lee are going to interview you two here, so that's...
Everything's opening up, racism going back. How are the crowds...
Did you say racism's going back?
I think I said that.
There's none of that here tonight. Carry on.
But you're back out there. How's it been? How has it actually been?
Yeah, so it looks like now it's going to get back to a full normal year. So for me, that means doing the British Championship and doing the Northwest, TT, Ulster Grand Prix, stuff like that. So I don't want to fucking jinx anything because we were told this 2 years ago and nothing happened. But yeah, now it looks like realistically it's going to be a normal, busy year, back testing, racing, everything. So yeah, it's the most excited we've got to be for 2 years.
Yes, and you're physically 100% and ready to go and back out there?
Well, yeah, as much as 100% as I'm going to get, I think, at this time in my career. But yeah, I'm good at the minute, fit and healthy and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to getting started.
Right, we have got to talk about your injuries because the level with you, I've been doing this a while and never once has somebody's knee feedbacked a microphone. That has never happened, and it's like, how much metal is in you exactly? Are you like, is in
not
you?
lots, just a bit in my leg and my shoulder. But I've broke a fair. Like I've broke both feet, tibia, fibia. All my toes, both sides. My back, 4 or 5 vertebrae. Tailbone, both collarbones, a couple of times. 2's plated. All my hands. My brain was bleeding. Broke my jaw, but I'm fucking still good looking at me now.
Hey! Fucking yes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Is there any part of your body that you haven't injured, apart from like your nipples?
Well, yeah.
Is this the bit where you tell me you've only got one nipple left or something like that?
I've got a third one right here. No, but I'm not sore or anything now. At certain times of the year, like when it first starts winter, do you know, when there's like a damp cold, then I fucking ache. But that's what getting old's like, I think. Just so, but you don't know what anyone else's body's like, do you? So you just think, oh well, everybody's fucking this sore or whatever. So.
People don't get it when you get older. Like if you're in like your 30s or your 40s, like the emotional pain of your 20s is replaced by your physical pain of your fucking 30s. I mean, I pulled a muscle yawning 3 weeks ago. Fucking yawning, pointing. Pointing. Anyway, this isn't about me, my injuries. But in terms of some of the names that you've worked with on the podcast, give us some other names. What's some of the other people that you've really went... What's been some of the personal questions that maybe you've asked that you have went, oh shit?
What's something you recorded, right? And you, like you said a minute ago, you said, fucking hell, he's going to regret saying that. No one they've actually said something and went that they wouldn't normally say, or you were shocked at them saying it.
A blackmail tape. Have you got a blackmail tape? Have you got a blackmail? You've got a blackmail tape.
Oh, we've got a fair bit, to be fair. The best thing is when you tell them, oh, the cameras are off. And they're just going, mic drop, and it's like, he's a dick, he's a dick, he's a dick, he's a dick. Never liked him. Banged his wife and like, keep it playing. You're like, I'm looking at the power symbol on the battery going, do not run out, this is gold. Do not. But to be fairly, like, I think a few of them just overthink it rather than anything. But didn't get us wrong, a few of them just can. Could you take that out, please? You know what I mean? But to be fair, any outstanding... I know that's a terribly boring answer, but I think... No, not really. But to be fair, I'll tell you what, I've got to ask before we move on from the injury side of things. What was your worst one then? Because that tailbone, Jesus.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is a fucking funny story. Well, a bad story. So when I broke at the TT, one crash, I hit a wall at like 120 mile an hour or something, but I don't remember. So I was knocked out. I woke up about a week later in the hospital. I don't remember getting off the island. My first memory is getting home like 2 weeks later. So I'm laying in bed at night. Well, I've actually got 2 stories about this one. Laying in bed at night, and my missus' phone flashes when she gets a text message. This is when my brain was bleeding and stuff. So I was laying in the bed, her phone flashes, and I'm going, for fuck's sake. And she's like, oh, I'll turn it off or whatever. I goes, no, I've fucking just been done for speeding, Anna. And she's like, this. And now
a speed camera in the bedroom, you fucking shagger.
Short cock, fast ass.
I had a fucking. She was like, oh yeah, because I'm always winding her up. She goes, oh, fucking funny you are. I was like, wait, it's not fucking funny, is it? I goes, you're not going to pay the fine, are you? I was like fuming, right? And like she goes to me, you're going into the hospital tomorrow. She says, you go get looked. And she sent me to, because I live on the M62, it's like the main corridor for rugby league players, which are basically just a load of steroid junkies that run into each other all the time. So they always have fucking brain injuries. So I went to see this brain specialist. And know what he told me? He says, oh yeah. He says, the part of your brain that you've damaged or whatever is like an anger thing. I was getting really angry and this was thing. And he says, oh, you might sort of make up little stories, whatever, in your head. And I goes, why the fuck didn't the doctor in the Isle of Man tell me this? He goes, oh, sometimes we don't like to tell you because then that'll worry you into thinking about things more. I thought I made my own fucking mind up whether I was going to worry or not. Yeah. Good.
And then you're imagining speed cameras in the fucking bedroom.
But so when I broke my tailbone at the same crash, I broke my back and my tailbone at the same time.
Was this Screeber Castle?
Yeah, I didn't even remember or I didn't feel my back because my tailbone, fucking hell, the pain. I've never had anything like it, right? And when I eventually got back to walking, we've got this we live out in the middle of nowhere, like nearly on the moors, and there's this little walkway around. It was probably 500 meters, but there's this old woman lives next door, and I couldn't sleep because I was on all these tablets. So I goes, right, I'm going to walk, and I'm literally, this is me walking, like fucking, took me half an hour to do this loop. Gets up 6:30 in the morning, she's out with the dog, she meets me, she goes, oh, hi, Ellie, and everything. And my tailbone's that sore, I can't tell if I need a shit or it's just the tailbone, right? And I'm like, I was always permanently, like as if you're bursting to shit, that was the feeling, only it was really sore. So I'm standing talking to Sue, and I'm like, I think I need a fucking shit here. And she's standing talking, and I'm like, all right, yeah. So obviously I can see the house, but I can't get to it because I'm fucking walking like Pingu at 3 miles an hour. And she starts to take off walking, right, with this dog, and I swear, she gets to that woman. I went, I'm going to shit myself. Pulls my trousers down and shits on the side of the road, right? So but I couldn't do anything. So I pulls them back up, walks back into the house, and my missus is still in bed, and she hears me coming in. She's like, all right, Lee. And I went, and she could hear it in my voice. She went, oh, I'm so embarrassed. And she goes, what are you doing? I goes, oh, I've just shit on the side of the road. All I could think is, what the fuck if Sue turns around and sees me standing shitting in the side of the road? This is something nobody knows, right? And every time I seen her after, I couldn't even look her in the eye or anything. I was like, all right, Sue. And I was like, this here, walking past.
As you're shitting on the side of the road, and in irony, there's a speed camera right there. Some poor guy gets a fine. Is that Lee Johnson having a shit on the side of the road?
So yeah, the worst part of injuries is not always the fucking crashing. It's what happens afterwards. Fact.
Where's the weirdest place you've nearly shit yourself? I did it once at a 6-year-old's birthday party on a seesaw. Fucking worst day of my life, man.
Hold on.
I didn't need to tell you anything about it.
You really do.
It came down with a bump and I shit myself, and I was like, oh no, this is the lowest you've ever been. I'm saying to my wife, I need to leave Amber's birthday party. I've shit myself. And she's like, why did I marry you? It's like, fuck off, hand me the Kleenex. If you've never shit yourself on a seesaw, you haven't lived. Moving on.
That's a t-shirt right there. That's
before I forget, we are actually going to take some questions tonight. So, no questions about shitting.
How'd you get from shitting to asking a question?
No, I don't know about you, but I often put my hand up. What did I eat? So if anyone has any questions, we will do our best to get our hands up. So we're going to do a wee bit at the end of each session because we're going to have a break, and then we're going to have our other two guests. So if anyone has any questions at this point for either Dom or Lee, by all means, pop up your hands, and we'll do our best to get them in if anyone has any questions.
Bear in mind, we can't see shit with these lights, so you're going to have to wave about a fair bit.
Yep,
no one.
If anyone has any questions, unless they're about refunds.
I've got one question. You were starting to talk about Dom's finger.
I fucking shat myself. I thought you were going to ask me about the seesaw. About Dom's finger.
Yeah, where are we going with that?
I forget.
Ah, okay. Dom,
I do have ADHD.
Oh, wait, like Lee, obviously we get, in motorcycle racing, you don't go swimming without getting wet, and obviously injuries come part and parcel with that. So unfortunately, I'm missing part of my finger on my right hand side there, which is like the living embodiment of didn't stick your finger where you wouldn't stick your cock, and that's a full constant reminder of that. But I actually lost my finger in Northern Ireland. Make that sound more dramatic than it actually is. There you go.
What you don't know is Ali's here with it. Just imagine, I've got it back.
That's probably the same. Did you keep me van a couple of years ago? So Jesus, there you go. But no, so I got invited over to the Sunflower races, which is like an invite only. So you got fast lads like the BSB lads, and then they need the occasional cannon fodder like me to fill in the gaps nicely. And it's a case of, this was a week and a half before I went to my first Macau Grand Prix.
Right.
Now, went round going, right, didn't take the piss, just come steady away. That no racer has ever tried to go steady on the racetrack. I can't remember practice session, no nothing. I woke up in hospital with my arm like duct taped essentially behind us. I'm going, what the fuck's happened here? All my levers are cut off. There wasn't a bit of paint left on my lid, no nothing. And the doctor goes, hello, Dominic. You've been in a bike accident. I'm like, all right, champion, not a problem. And he's going, we need permission to cut your finger off. And I'm looking at my left hand going, what the oh, fucking, all right, dickhead, must be on my right hand. I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on here. Sure enough, he unravels my hand. I'm going, oh, fucking hell, I broke every bone in that hand. And like this finger's just total mush on the side, total mush. And at any moment in your life, and I think this is our generation, if you don't document it and it's not on Insta, it doesn't exist. So at this point, I'm going, how am I going to negotiate with this doctor? I said, right, you can cut it off as long as I film it. He's going, look, son, what you on about? I go, I'm going to film you cutting that finger off, and that's the end of that. He goes, well, what are you going to film it on? So anyway, he's got my hand over there, and I'm rummaging through my levers. And I always carry my phone on this when I go racing, only when I'm abroad, because my mother would disown us if I didn't have my phone on us. That's like from racing around the Isle of Man and stuff like that. Because she goes, if you come off, you don't ring an ambulance, you don't ring Jesus, you ring me first. Right, your mother. So anyway, I'm thinking, fuck, mint, my levers are there. And anyway, I find my phone, and I've still got it on my phone. And if anyone wants to come see it, just call after. It's mint crack.
Fucking, do we have a projector in a screen?
And there we go. So anyway, this doctor goes, are you ready, son? I'm like, right, no problem. So he's cutting through it, and I'm giggling while he's doing it, thinking, this is more shock than actually accepting what's going on.
Yeah.
And he cuts it off, and he goes, right. And the next protocol came in your mind, I want to keep this finger. So I asked the doctor, I said, look, any chance to keep the finger? He goes, look, Dominic, it's not like the Tooth Fairy. You can't put it under your pillow and you're going to get a quid for it. I'm going,
I've got 6 fingers.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And I'm thinking, all right, no problem. He goes, right, you're not having it. That's the end of that. I'm like, all right, no problem. So anyway, dickhead there puts the finger, which is now in a plastic pot, on the counter. He says, the nurse is going to be in a couple of minutes to tidy up. Turns round, out he goes, shut the curtain. I gone, dickhead. So anyway, 90 up, finger, between legs, shut legs, 90 down. Thinking I'm king of the world at this point, thinking, what does this highly educated individual know? Fuck all.
Can I ask one question that we're all wondering?
Go for it.
Was that the place you had to put it?
You're damn right.
Fuck yes.
You're damn right. You know what I mean? I like to paint a scene. So at this point, this nurse comes in and like, hello, Dominic, you all right? I can't say I've had better days. She goes, right. She picks up the clipboard and she's like wandering around and she's tidying up, getting things clean. She's looking at me, picks up the clipboard again, looks at me again, and I'm looking at her going, she's going to ask any minute now where the fuck this finger is. Goes round, she's looking round again, and you can see her whispering to the nurse, going, like, I've got a clipboard here, and he's standing in, and I'm looking for the ambient part of it. I'm going, all right. I'm thinking she's going to ask. She comes in and just takes a big gulp, and she goes, Dominic, have you seen your finger? I go, well, that's pretty fucking insensitive. I've just lost it. So she turned round, fucking off she goes out this door. So anyway, my Lauren walks in. She goes, oh, Dominic. And, like, she's from the same place as Lee's from, so you can imagine people from Fermanagh don't take shit. So I can't pick up my lid. And I said, well, turn it round. She's just looking at us, and she puts his helmet out in front of us. Legs open, 90 up, finger in the helmet like that. And she goes, what's that? I can't, that's me finger. And you know when you have, like, a really loud argument while whispering? The fucking, like, you fucking, what the fuck? I'm like, shut the fuck up, just shut the fuck up, and like that. So she's got, like, just fucking leave.
It's like the opposite of that mum shouting that they would do when they would go, can you now?
That's exactly right.
You can you now, I swear to God, I will fucking kill you. Dom's a one.
And honestly, so we're having this really loud argument. I'm like, look, just go. Just fucking go, because I'm going to get in deep shit if you don't go. So anyway, she's walking out this hospital like Victor Frankenstein from the graveyard like that. I'm thinking, here we go. So anyway, the surgeon comes back in and I goes, well, look, I haven't seen this finger. I'm having open arguments at this point. So she goes off to the track. I stay in hospital for a couple of days. And Lauren, being a clever girl from Northern Ireland, she put it in the motorhome freezer of her mate's motorhome. So this thing's done a full lap around the paddock of the Sunflower, just going from freezer to freezer to freezer. And eventually I get my bike back, but the rest of my bike, the only thing that was salvageable was the fucking paddock stands. It was written off, mate. There wasn't a bit salvaged. So I chucked this bike in the back of my dad's van, and I'm driving home. And before I started this story, I should have mentioned everyone that my mum hates tattoos. despises tattoos. Okay. So I'm travelling down the road, and I'm feeling like, what the fuck's up with my arm? I got that full arm piece the day before I did the sunflower event in Northern Ireland, and I'm going down the road going, what the fuck am I going to tell me mum here? I've lost a bit. She gave me that finger years ago. She said, look after it. I haven't looked after it. And then I've totally violated the left-hand side of my body, and I'm going like that, going, fucking hell, my dad's fine, everything's written off. So anyway, travelling home, park the van on the drive, and I saw mother's, well, hopefully, if you've had healthy relationships, my mother's came out the door and got, oh, son, are you all right? I can't. With all this going on, mother, I've got you a present. She goes, what do you mean you've got us a present? She goes, I just hold your hand out, ma'am, and shut your eyes. She put, hand goes out, and I present her into her hand this frozen finger. Right on in her hand, and she opens up. Now, this is a proper Geordie woman, this mind. She opens her eyes. Do you think that's funny, son? I goes, you think that's funny? And I presented my arm. She dropped the finger, went straight fucking for us. I've never seen speed like it like that. What the fuck? Like in the middle of the street, I'm half disabled. And I tell you what, the next question. Go on, ask the next question.
Well, I was more the fact that she didn't give a fuck about the finger, but the tattoo was like, you little fucker.
Oh, honestly, fully lost her shit on it. It was a team building exercise between me and my mother at that point. But most people ask.
Where is the finger now?
Where is the finger?
It's right next to the curly fries in my mum's freezer.
Curly fries, you say?
When we get raided by the police again, fuck, she's got some answering to do. I'm telling you.
They don't sell curly fries in Aldi's, but they do sell frozen fingers. That's a brilliant story. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
It's right next to the frozen bread as well. So it's like.
We started with the frozen bread. That's all I've got to say. I'm a proper man of the people. But if you haven't got anything cut off that you've frozen and kept, Lee, by any chance?
If they cut anything off me, there'll be nothing left. I'm fucking 5'5". But no, nothing. I'm all me. My mum gave me this, and I'm looking after it. I'm covered in tattoos, mine. But yeah, no.
We know we've heard about like your worst injury, but what is the worst crash that you've had that you've walked? I mean, it's very hard to walk away from, but what would you say was necessarily the worst crash that you'd had?
I don't. What, like where I
that
actually,
you can remember as well.
I've knocked myself out a fair few times. So I think probably on a track. Well, the fastest crash I've had, like without doing, I broke all my toes. That was it. But I was fucking chuffed to bits. That was all. Probably at like Silverstone, I fell off at about 140 mile an hour. But the big thing with track racing is because it's not, well, it's like anything, and it's not the fall that hurts you, it's the sudden stop at the end of it. So if there's nothing there that you're hitting, then it sounds stupid, but you learn to fall off, you know what I mean? You learn to slide, and you learn, it's like, what's that, not ballerina you watch, boxing, wrestling. Yeah, same thing. So
I should let you know, we do have a professional wrestler coming up in the second half of the show.
What a dog
Don't you dare, young'un.
And I think he's only just left the room, so you've probably got. We've actually got an ex-professional wrestler in the room as well. Best of luck, boys.
Dom said he was game.
For.
Well, he was going to show him his full half a fist.
Kick the table hour. Let's go for it. Live wrestling on the front. I'll get my arse kicked.
Fucking, you want to watch that in the second half? Fucking yes.
That was an evil. What have I done to you?
He's getting mangled.
Yes.
He's going to break off your finger and he's going to store it somewhere that isn't in the freezer. But
I'll be in
in terms of the injuries, in terms of like the crashes, I should say.
Yeah, you do learn to crash. It sounds stupid, even me saying it now, but you do. Do you know what I mean? If you took the front, you land a certain way, or you brace a certain way and stuff, and you get used to doing it. Well, maybe if it was a bit better, I wouldn't get used to crashing, but you do get used to it. But that's the difference, I suppose, between like track racing and road racing. And I can't remember who said it once, but maybe Cameron Donald or someone, and he said track racing's like climbing with a harness on, And road racing's like free climbing, you know, like with no harness. When you fall, that's it, sort of thing. So I think that was probably the most, because you end up either, if you're really, really lucky, you'll slide up the middle of the road. But the fucking chances of that is you need to go to church every Sunday for that to happen, because that does not happen often. But yeah, you're always going to hit something. So I've had some big crashes on the track, like quite fast ones, but any of the ones that have happened on the road, I don't really remember anything, because I've normally always been knocked out. But
how is it watching the videos back? Because I mean,
I don't watch anything.
You don't.
I remember, to be fair, I was really when I had the big crash at the TT, I was most fucked off because somebody pinched my bloody chest protector. Whether it was I don't know if it was the marshals, the dude in the helicopter. Well, not him because he was flying it, but one of the other guys, or some of the people.
Hold the wheel a second. I'm having this boy's chest protector. Oh, look at there's my phone. I wondered where that went. Moving on.
But yeah, so I got everything back, and I'm anal about all my kit and what I have, because it all means something to you. Do you know what I mean? Your helmets, boots, whatever. And I remember getting back home. And I was obviously, because I was fucked, like I said, I was shitting in front of my neighbours and all sorts. And I remember getting home, and I said to Christy, "I'll sort my kit out," and it was gone, and I was fuming, and it couldn't have been gone in the crash because my leathers got cut off me and everything I got there. So they had to someone had to physically pull the zip down and take it out. Imagine nicking something off a fucking man that's laid on a stretcher. That's low, that, isn't it?
Oh, well, somebody was.
There was actually. What's the word for people from Glasgow? Glaswegian?
Glaswegian, yeah.
There was actually Glaswegian medics working that day.
So are they getting the blame, are they?
He's here tonight. Get yourself up.
We're not there now, are we?
I've never been more nervous for two other people in my fucking life. Like, I know these bits of Glasgow will fucking murder you for a box of eggs. Do you know what I mean?
Lee, we're the
And these bits of Belfast, we know that for a fact.
For defrosted bread.
Defrosted bread, using it like fucking ninja stars. Fuck this. Does anyone have any questions before we take our first break, ladies and gentlemen, and when we watch these guys challenge a professional wrestler? We got a question. You got to film it for your dad. Nice.
Oh, no.
So before you were a racer, did you want to be a hairdresser?
No, I didn't. The want is a wrong word, right? I wasn't very good at school.
Desire.
I know you find that hard to believe. But I had no intention of ever, like when I was in last year of school, like you go into like, is it careers class or something? And the teacher was like, what are you going to be? And I said, I'm going to be a motorbike racer. I goes, I don't really need to do any of these exams because that's what I'm going to do. And she was like, don't be fucking stupid. You need to get a real job, whatever. And so I went to, is it tech or college? You leave school and you go. So all my mates are like, yeah, I'm going to be a fucking welder or a plumber or whatever. I was like, yeah, rock on. I got there and there was like 25 women queued up to fucking do, I don't know what they were doing, but there was 25 girls my age doing one course. I thought, that's the fucking course I'm doing. So, I went there and I tell you what, it was the fucking best year of my life.
Fucking yes.
Yeah. Well, it didn't even last a year. I was 17 then, so I won the British Championship when I was 17, 18. So halfway through it, I moved to England and stuff then. But like for 6 or 8 months, I worked in at this proper posh hairdresser's in Evan. I tell you what, mate. See, giving grannies a little purple wrench and getting tipped, fucking easiest money in the world.
If anyone's thinking about changing careers. Right, does anyone have any other questions? We're going to we got a question right at the back. Sir. What's your favourite experience on 2 wheels? Keep it clean, Dom.
How many people are involved?
Wow, an orgy on a bike. Favourite experience on 2 wheels? Dom?
You know what? Like it's nothing spectacular, far from it. But it's the simple things that, like at the Isle of Man for me, and it's not the outright speed. It's like 1 year, I think it was last year. Well, sorry, 2 years ago. Anyway, the last time we were there, and it was that foggy throughout practice week. It just turned to shit, and they decided the short lap way. So you had to go from all the way, like the sea level, all the way to Ramsey, and you just and then you queued up at Ramsey, you've got 70 of the world's best, and me. You've got 70 of the best, then me, queuing to go down halfway through a lap. The psychological element of that was surreal. You know, you're thinking, you're going to stick it out for half a lap? How are they going to time this? And then, because legally they have to get us so many laps to let us race. So their idea was, we're going to pull in the Ramsey, and then they were going to escort us over the mountain. So we all get 10-second gaps, and off you go, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. And it was just surreal, everyone pulling in. So this is before I was like a seeded rider at the TD, and you're pulling up next to McGuinness and Lee, and everyone's just queuing up. And then you get the travelling marshal in a car out in front of you, and like everyone had to put their fog lights on, so the rain lights on the bike, and you normally don't have to run them. And you're going up the world's best, most famous racetrack, and everyone's doing 20 mile an hour, and you just see like a red line getting carved through the mountain. Yeah. And you're thinking, no one will ever do this again. Yeah. And you're just thinking, this is just mental. And then you just pull in, you put another tyre on, and then you go do it again. It's all like everyone's friends in that, and then everyone's carving chunks out of each other all the way to Ramsey going, fuck you, it's totally worth it. You know, it's just daft little silly things like that, you know, and you just, everyone gets together and goes, I make it sound like a fucking Kleenex advert, don't I? Everyone gets together and gives each other a hug, you know, but it's like...
What's your go-to shout to try and put someone off?
I thought you said go-to shite.
What's your go-to shout? me, I shit like a cat.
I've got to go top Lee off now, haven't I? I've got to get a curb at Huddersfield and have a shite in front of the speed camera. That's my next idea.
But favourite experience in two wheels, Lee?
Fuck, I was too busy listening to Dom to think about one. I don't know. I suppose winning the TT has to be, to me, the biggest, because that's our goal in our sort of sport, whether it's British Championship or as a road racer, that's the ultimate goal. So, and I honestly, like, everyone thinks, oh, you must have been so fucking excited or whatever, but you're just like, oh, thank fuck I've done it now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's more a relief. And then that's like that for the first while, and then I was really lucky because there's been no TT since I've won, so I've had 2 years of people telling me, oh, well done, you won the TT.
Yes!
It's, yeah, so I've got to milk it really, because I probably would have been beat twice by now, so I managed to get, yeah, so I think that.
Fuck it. Well, I think that's a good spot to take a break, guys. We're going to be joined by two more guests in the second section, but Lee and Dom will be back with us. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to Lee Johnson. And Dom Herbertson, let's hear it, yes! Hit the bar, hit the stand, hit the shop, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Cheers! All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Did you enjoy your break? Do me a favour there, listener. Let's hear it for the staff here at the Drygate, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Thank you for looking after us. It's time for part 2 of the show. So, first of all, big round of applause for Gigi.
I genuinely don't know why I'm getting applause, mate. I sat there and said, "Fuck off."
I feel like it needs. You're paying the wages now. Let's not fuck about. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back as well our two guests from the first section. Let's hear it for Lee Johnson and Dom Herbertson. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for them again. I don't know if you're wanting to split up, if you two are fighting, or fuck, are you coming over here? Fucking wild card. Nicola Sturgeon will go fucking. Oh, you're gonna sit here together? Oh, fucking yes. Let's fucking do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together and welcome our guests for this section. Gigi, would you like the honours?
I would. Calvin Gowland, please come onto the stage, sir.
Big round of applause for Calvin Gowland, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking look at the shape of this boy.
I know, man.
Look at the shape of this boy.
Why did you not say that when I walked on?
No, what I said was the height. No, never.
We can't see your shape of the jacket.
I'm like 5'6" or something. And ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the hardcore icon of the planet? Please welcome. Thank you, one person. If you could move around, that'd be fucking amazing. Please put your hands together for your very own Jack Jester. The people's princess himself. There he is. There he is, Conor McGregor. Guys, thanks very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Jester, you've got a wee mic there. You've got a wee mic there. But first of all, we've got to mention the elephant in the room. Lee, would you like to recap any of the comments you made in the first...
Dom wanting to fill them two in?
No, wait, because I walked in here earlier.
Right.
And all I could hear was him slagging off professional wrestling and hairdressers. And I'm fucking both.
Lee.
I left school,
I wasn't
went straight
slagging
into
off.
hairdressing,
Yeah.
left hairdressing to become a wrestler, and I walk in and he's fucking slagging it off.
Fucking, honestly, do we have any wrestling fans in? Give us a quick cheer.
Lee,
all
we
the
are.
folk
Thank
that
you.
don't want to fucking admit it. We're right at the bottom of the league of fandom. We get no respect. It goes like movies, music, Star Wars, Star Trek, wrestling fans, right? And I know for a fact there's at least one fucking Star Trek fan fucking raging. I put it in that order. It's right. We're right at the bottom of the league of fandom. You know what's below us? You know what's below us? Twilight, right? You know what's below Twilight? Pedophiles. Now the thing is, we're not taking any of your
Am I
shit.
above that?
You are definitely above that, right? It goes like pedophiles, Prince Andrew. No, the thing is, settle down. Have you not seen the news? Sweaty bastard. Who's he fucking kidding? Pizza Express. That's not been open since 1993. Nobody remembers it. It's a fucking jelly jawed nonsense. Full of nobody, right? But moving on from that, guys, thank you very much for coming. First of all, that shirt is very tight, and we can see. I fucking love this.
It's a medium.
It's a medium.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that is weirder than what I wear. Do you know what I mean?
Do you go to the
Dorothy
same
Perkins?
laundrette or something like that? Both your
Dorothy
clothes are very,
Perkins?
very tight.
Oh, it looks like Dorothy Perkins, doesn't it? Does anybody shop there? Okay.
This is the whole thing. We're actually looking at this, and these guys could actually be a tag team. First of all, Calvin, we really appreciate you coming on. Long way for you to come as well. Thank you very much for coming all the way down. We're going to talk about how would you, in a nutshell, because I think I asked you this when we actually go on the podcast, how exactly in a nutshell would you describe what you do? Because it kind of goes across lots of different genres. And what would you describe what you do, sir?
So it's kind of changed a lot since first talking to you, just since like understanding that like I'm not going to be as good as what I thought I was going to be in this sport, just because like genetics is like a huge thing to play with the whole bodybuilding thing, and it's like you've got to push your body through mad things to like get to where it is that you want to be, and then like if you're not going to get to that place, you've just got to kind of like take a step back. And now I just like want to coach people who have the potential to do that.
Right.
But I still always enjoy training. Like this is just what I do anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think there's like certain levels to things where like the effort that you can put in is like you can only go so far with what your body's going to do, and then you're going to start basically fucking things up for yourself to chase this thing that's like not going to be there.
Do you think you can... Sorry for taking your
No,
job.
not at all, not at all.
Do you think you can look at someone and know if they've got genetics? Like, do I have the genetics?
Oh shit.
Well, I don't want to miss out on a new career.
I
I'm just
literally saw for the first time ever a look of panic in his eyes.
It's like it just depends on how you want to like look. So I don't want to be massive anymore. I used to want to be like a 250-pound bodybuilder. I'm like 5'5". But now when I see what them like do on a daily, they kind of put the socks on or nothing, and it's like I'm like mad active now. Since COVID, I've started going on like walks to the lakes, just doing random stuff, and I know I can't do that at that weight. And again, it's just like now everything that I kind of wanted to do, I don't want to do now.
Right.
But everything just still stays the same. It's just pushing for shows and things like that. It's like, it's just kind of on the back burner now. But I've got like a lot of good clients and stuff now who have that potential. And like what them have to put themselves through to get there is a lot less than somebody who isn't like... I just think you just have to kind of know where the line is. There's a level of delusion in it. So it's like if you can still look good for how
what
you
you're
want to
saying
look.
is I don't have the fucking genetics.
No.
Just-
but again, it's just like, it just depends on how big you want to be. But in a nutshell, you can still look really good. But
Yeah, but I can't even put my fucking socks on now, and I'm 65 kilos.
So fucking tell me about it. During lockdown, I put on 2 stone, right? But I found out why I'd put on 2 stone, why I was feeling bloated, because it turns out I am allergic to fuck all. Fuck all, man. I was eating the Wayne's Farley's rusks. The fuck has happened to me? I look like a fucking goth flump. basically a marshmallow with knees. I look like a fucking melted candle.
I'm not the one that's judging everybody's body here, man. So fuck that. Count me out.
But
You all look how you want to look.
It was a bit unfair, wasn't it? It was like driving in a fucking used car to a car dealer and go, "What do you think of this?" Fucking hell. This isn't getting through an MOT. And then we have Jester, of course. How would you describe, in a nutshell, what you do, sir, for the boys and girls that are maybe uninitiated?
It depends what day it is.
Nice.
You know, first and foremost, professional wrestler.
Professional wrestler.
Professional wrestler. My 18th year now.
Fucking hell.
I know.
18 years, that's worth a round of applause in anybody's business. Fucking yes.
My knees appreciate it.
These appreciate it.
Professional wrestler, recently actor.
Yes.
Yep. But just a bit of everything. You know what I mean? Professional wrestler has been my long-term career. And then I recently into producing and directing backstage as well.
Yeah.
Because the real is, you know that you're not going to last forever. All right. I mean, you get to this age and you start getting sorer and sorer every single day, and every match takes a wee bit more out of you. So now I'm a bit more picky with what matches I take. Whereas before, COVID's a thing, right? Because I know COVID's a thing, but here's the thing.
Hang on 1 second. This just in. I mean, I don't know what it is, but fucking let's all be concerned.
Let me rephrase.
I know Omicron sounds like a bisexual transformer. You have been pumped for Vauxhall Astra. It's not a good night.
What I
There's
meant
one guy at the back from Cope Bridge. It's like, what the fuck are they talking about? Sorry.
What I meant to say was, here's the thing. COVID.
What is COVID?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
So before COVID, before all that bullshit, my life had just been like the same for years and years. Take every single booking, constantly travelling,
Right.
match, training, and then COVID shut everything down.
Right.
And then when we came back, I kind of thought, I don't really need to do this anymore,
Right.
because I was constantly travelling like to fucking Nottingham, 7 hours all the way down. I was always on last, so you were leaving the venue at 11:30 at night, all the way back up again. Then you were like fucking in agony for days and days after it, and I just thought, no, like I just want to stay here now.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to be able to do that now, because working for ICW, like I'm full time with that. So I think I can pick and choose, and if I want to travel, I'll travel. But I think I'm just kind of over it. I'm over it. Aye. I like wrestling here, but I hate sitting in a car for 12
Inadvertently,
hours.
you guys have kind of come to a similar place in terms of helping like the next generation of guys and kind of working with them, because
It sounds like COVID's kind of like made you change your ways as well. Like I spent
like-
so much time by myself during COVID. Now it's just made us like kind of realize like what things are like really important and like what's not. And the things I thought I was chasing that were like I was obsessed over, like now you're just like, fuck me, I was like really wasting my time.
This is all getting deep in this.
I know, I didn't even mean to
section
do
of the
that.
show.
Everyone's
We were
saying
talking
stuff
about
like
shiting next time. What are we? I'm out of my comfort zone here, lads. I'll level with you. Freaking out, these feelings. I'm Scottish. Fucking, this is giving me the panic. Last feeling I had was a bit of shortbread. But just to put it into context, not only are professional wrestling matches doing it all around from family-friendly stuff, and this is what we were talking earlier with the injuries, you're not primarily known, that's unfair, but you are known for being in hardcore matches, right? So
Yes.
to put that into context for anyone that would understand, so it's matches involving, no holds barred, involving weapons, barbed wire, steel chairs. Oh fuck! There's so many different matches you've been in over the years. What have been like some of the craziest, most wildest matches you think you've been in?
I mean, so many, like the no holds barred thing. You know, anything from barbed wire to drawing pins to broken glass to fire. And it sounds mental for people that don't watch wrestling. Like, what the fuck's this guy doing? But I grew up loving that style.
Yeah.
Like people like Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, and then I wanted to kind of emulate it. But I was always adamant that I wasn't going to do it until I looked old enough, because for me there's nothing more ridiculous than like a 16-year-old doing all these fucking hardcore. It's just not believable. But I did that for years, and I think, like you're saying, I'm primarily known for it. I think I went so hard for so long that I've not done it for a long time.
No,
now,
you haven't,
But
no.
I'm still known for that style. So I think I made my mark there. But it's the same with the travelling thing. Like, I did it all the time. I don't do it anymore. But if there was a reason to do it, I'll do it. Whereas before, it was just like every single match I was having was, you know, I was in the hospital constantly and my face was constantly slashed up. And then, you know, and my teeth were getting knocked out all the time. And that was normal for me before COVID.
Yeah.
Just like travelling constantly was normal for me before COVID. And then you take a year off and you think, I don't think I want to go back to that anymore. I think I'm done going to the Royal Infirmary every week.
What do you say to, like, because the Royal Infirmary must deal with some fucking weird injuries here. Like, I know for a fact the Royal Infirmary here in Glasgow, a friend of mine works there as a nurse. You ask the question you always ask a nurse, what's the weirdest thing you've ever found at someone's bum? Ha, ha, ha. I was saying it as a bit of a joke, and she went, a Sky Digital remote. She didn't even bat a fucking eye when she said it, Sky Digital remote, and I was like, I was joking.
Well,
I can imagine that, though.
The new Q one or the big old one?
I'd imagine, and I never thought we'd be talking about this, I imagine the one with the most bumps. You wouldn't want a smooth one going, what the fuck am I... No, here. Imagining what remote I'd put up my, just to show my missus. See if you can find it.
Imagine if they put the wrong channel on while it was going up and they think,
Oh,
fuck, the game's up
Jesus.
here, like...
Fucking sitting here watching bidup.tv.
Stuck on QVC. Fuck.
Fuck's sake. Fucking Peter Duncan.
Try to change the channel.
I think it's though, at least it's not one of those universal ones. They were always fucking huge and never worked half the time.
No.
Moving on.
Hold on. You wanted the tone lowered 10 minutes ago. You've got it now. Let's
There we go, we're back on. But what do you say? Like, I'm genuinely interested because, like, I mean, obviously there's, you know, these accidents, you know, the marshals, and we do always have first aiders, and there's obviously all duty of care maids at these events. What exactly do you say to folk when you're going into this and you're all cut up and you've got barbed wire? What do you say to the nurses?
Honesty. Just tell them the truth.
Right.
Because, I mean, I don't know. It would just be, if I was lying, it would just be as bad. Because if my face is all slashed up and my arms all cut open, I'm going to have to lie anyway. So I just say, like, oh, I did a barbed wire match in the barras last night. And they go, what's a barbed wire match? And I tell them. And then you end up getting a 15-minute conversation about wrestling. Do you mind Big Daddy? And I'm like, could you just fucking stitch my arm back up, please? But I mean, one time, it was, you might remember, it was the garage, and I was wrestling. It was a tag, and it was Iceman and Jimmy Havoc.
Oh, fuck, yes.
And before the match even started, like, I turned around, and this guy, who I used to idolise when I was younger, like, he was the kind of British hardcore guy.
Right.
Iceman, and I used to watch him all the time. And the bell went, and when I turned round, he just stabbed me right in the forehead with a fork. Like, straight off the bat.
Ding,
like,
ding.
Yeah. Ding, ding, and he just ran at me and went, poof. And he stabbed me right in the forehead, and I started bleeding. But I was bleeding a lot.
Right.
This is before it even started, and that's the scary thing, right? Because if you start bleeding towards the end of a match, you're like, I've got 5 minutes left. But if your head's fucking pissing with blood and you've got 20 minutes left, you're like, I'm going to faint here because I can't get this to stop. So anyway, it kept going, and then I had a habit of, because I always wrestled the weekends, I hate going to A&E because it's always mobbed, especially in the Royal, you know what I mean? There on a Saturday night for 8 hours, no. So I used to just hairspray the cut. So I'd wipe it, hairspray it, and then put a bandana on top of it just to stop it until the morning, right?
So on a Sunday morning.
Right, so this is the thing, right? So, no, Monday morning, because the show would have been on the Sunday. And I went to, I stayed just off Duke Street at the time. I went to the Royal, and we sat down, and he couldn't get the bandana off my head because the hairspray had congealed with the blood and acted like a glue. So now I've got now that's a procedure. Do you know what I mean? Like, getting the bandana off my forehead was the first thing. So they've had to kind of take their time and peel it off. And then he went, I don't think it's that bad. I went, oh, great. So he got like a scouring pad. I didn't think that was a hospital thing. Do you know what I mean? I thought, is there no like a thing for that? No, scouring pad. And just put this soap on it and just fucking like went right into it. Do you know what I mean? Like just fucking, you know, and it just fucking started squirting everywhere. So now I'm sitting there mortified because the guy's like, it's all over his face and it's all dripping down his top, and I'm going, I'm so sorry about this. And my hair was everywhere. I was slashed. And I'm like, oh my God. And so he did that. So then the night before, I had lost about a pint of blood.
Right.
And in the process of getting this done, I lost about another pint of blood. And it turned out I'd hit an artery. I hit an artery. No, he had hit an artery with a fork.
With a fucking fork.
And I had to get 10 double stitches in my hairline. But I was wearing a white t-shirt, right? And I mind I walked home and I was walking up Alexandra Parade. And I was knackered because I was like, my knees were going funny. And I was on the phone to Mark Dallas, who's the boss of the company, like, can you just talk to me here? And if I stop talking, come to Alexandra Parade because I've passed out. And like people were like grabbing their kids and crossing the road and all that because I'm like just bouncing up the street, sober, but I looked like a fucking maniac. And that was just one of the Sundays. That was just one of the kind of minor matches. But that was my routine. So you can see why I eventually got fed up with that lifestyle.
I thought wrestling was like acting and quite not fake, but like.
There it is. I was waiting for the F word. I was waiting for the F word.
Did to yourself.
As
soon as he started getting sour forks, I was thinking, "Fuck, I don't understand."
Hey, to be fair, son,
Can't believe he said that. That is disgraceful.
You said that. You said that last first time.
Tonight, we have a tag team match for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Jester, can I ask
I
you a
had
question?
no idea it was as serious as that. What the hell?
Can I ask you a question? You mentioned thumbtacks.
Yes.
The real thumbtacks. Fucking hell, man. I remember like trying to stick a poster on the wall and it snaps and it goes in your thumb. Where do the wee shards go?
You
Right,
hard bastard, John.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If you go to put a thumbtack in the wall and you get one in your thumb, agony, right? If you land on 5,000, it's a shock, so it's not quite as bad.
But
Solid
if it snaps,
Aye.
It's a little bit
do
like...
you know the worst bits? The heel of your hand, right? Like if you could be rolling about, they're all stuck in your back, they're stuck in your forehead. If you get one like right in there, just one, it's fucking agony. Agony. And I used to get them all caught in my hair. And again, I would do the whole hairspray, tie my hair up, after party thing, covered in blood. And then the next day you're washing your hair and you can feel wee hard lumps and it's where the tacks had went into your skull and the top had come off.
well, that's what I mean. Where
Aye.
does that go? It's like when you get a splinter in you. It's bad.
It's
enough.
the same. Imagine a metal skelf, but in your skull.
Who decides that you're going to roll around in a load of fucking tacks? Like, surely there's a...
Me. I decide. That's the thing.
Fuck
That's the
that.
charm. That's the charm. Nobody makes me do it.
What's
I
the
choose to do it.
What's the maddest thing you thought of and bottled and thought? Let's
Nothing.
Look,
No.
shut up, man.
Nothing.
What is the maddest thing you've done and thought? Fuck it, we're having a portion. What is it?
Having a what?
Having a go at it.
Oh.
He knows what I mean. He's
I've
from my
actually
end.
never heard that. I didn't even know what you said.
A portion.
That's what I thought it says. A portion.
Did you say a
Wait,
portion?
Wait, having a what?
Did you say a portion?
no.
A portion.
A portion.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
like
that got
chips.
dangerous,
A portion,
didn't it?
like a wizard.
A portion.
What the fuck
A
is he talking
portion.
about?
Having a portion.
Anyway,
that
I'll
sounds
go. Give that a
overtly
go.
sexual, and I've never seen him.
We're going, here, lads, we're going round the subject here. Anyway, what's the maddest thing that you've done? That was a lot simpler, wasn't it? Jeez.
What's the maddest thing that I've done?
Outside of Benidorm, which we're going to get to.
All right, then. All right, okay. The maddest thing I've done. I don't know what you would think is mad. Like I don't know. Like I suppose we had like the first barbed wire ropes match in Scotland, and that was in the Barrowlands, and that's when it is what it is. The ropes are wrapped in barbed wire, so therefore the whole thing becomes a danger because you can't hit the ropes. And then I got the posts wrapped in barbed wire as well, so that if you hit the post, that was also. And then I got barbed wire boards placed on the floor around the ring, so that any time you went out, you landed on that as well. And then I had some spare ones to bring in. So it was just a lot of barbed wire. But the guy that I was wrestling, Drew Galloway, who went to be Drew McIntyre, he had been signed by WWE again. So I went into that match knowing that he wasn't allowed to take any of this stuff. So I'm like, well, if we're doing a barbed wire rope match, people are going to be disappointed if they don't see fucking chaos. So I went into that match knowing that I was going to get really hurt because that was the only option. And I suppose the thing that I planned one thing in that match that I didn't want to do, and the whole day Drew kept trying to talk me out of it, and it was the superplex for the top rope to the floor through the barbed wire table. And the whole day I was kind of like, if I bottle this, I'll be ashamed of myself. And then Drew kept saying, we don't need to do it, we've got plenty in there. And then when you're up there and he grabs you, you don't have a choice anymore, because Drew's like fucking, 19, 20 stone, something like that. And I took it, and it was horrible, but I was glad that I'd done it, because if I'd shot out of it, I would have tortured myself for weeks after it.
I tell you what, I don't mean to bring it down, but to be blunt, have people died in your sport doing this?
Yes, aye.
Fuck me.
Aye. Definitely.
Never mind any of that. Do you get more money for fucking going through barbed wire?
Yes.
Finally getting to
There's, I was trying to make it sound a bit
gives a
fancier
fuck
than normal.
about, innit?
I just like money. There's your answer. That's why I do it.
Completely
All right?
What the fuck
understand.
did you bring up death for?
Fucking seriously.
I don't mean to bring down. I thought there was going to be something
Yeah,
funny
so
after.
did I. And we just found out COVID's a fucking thing.
Wait, not the fucking here, man. Chucking yourself through a barbed wire table.
Yeah,
for the
but he
shits
gets
and giggles.
fucking money for it.
How
Don't feel
much-
sorry for the
Oh,
cunt. He's
fuck.
paying a fortune.
Fuck, I'm sitting next to the richest bloke in motorsport here. How much cheddar do you get money? How much money do you get?
It's none of your fucking business.
I hope it's a lot, son. Back.
But Calvin, how many barbed wire? No, never. Obviously, you did the competitions and you talked about that posing. I think we were talking earlier about you've been at a stage and you've got no qualms about getting your gear off and posing and that type of thing. That's going to be a bizarre world in order to go into the bodybuilding. That's going to be just incredible performing, doing all that work in the gym, and then you've got to perform in front of all these people as well.
This is way more nerve-wracking than that, Al.
Really?
Take your clothes off now, then.
No,
and see what...
yeah, you have to prep for that.
That's what we're all here for, to be honest.
Off.
This is two completely different comfort zones, Al. Like, these two were going for it, and I was sat there getting stroked. I was like, I'm shitting myself here, Al. It's mad, Al. It's not my normal thing.
We say taps off up here.
Taps off.
Taps off.
Taps off. Top off.
Oh, I'm staying that way on that.
Top off. I've never explained that before in such a posh way. Top off.
Tops off.
Up them stairs. Unfreeze that bread. But I've always, one of the things I've always wanted to ask about that, and I never got the opportunity, is obviously you guys have got to really show off your physique under the lights and what have you. Is the stuff you paint on? Is the it's no creosote. What the fuck am I talking? Like a fucking fence.
Marmite.
Marmite. What is that stuff? Is it
There's just loads of different brands of just false tan, really. And the darker you are, you think you look ridiculous when you're just like out there. But then as soon as you get under here, like them lights just make you look so pale. So you look like ridiculous walking about.
Who was the first guy that went, no, more tan? I want to see the curves. Who was the first guy? I don't know, the bumps.
Show me the curves.
Show me the curves. I want to see how bobbly this guy is.
Give him another coat.
I
want to see the curves.
Who puts that on? Do you put that on? Or do you get somebody to put it on?
You can put it on yourself if you want to save money, or you can just get the people, whoever is at the show, to put it on you.
That makes a lot more sense.
Which is like a big spray thing, really. You just get spray tanned up and then you're on.
That makes more sense than what I had in my head, which was the guy with a wee roller. like a car wash. Here you are. Do you want me to do the arse? Fucking why are there? Here's a question.
You do just get a trainer sock though, and you just stood in this like 10 thing. And you just got to go front, side, back. That's it. That's all you do.
Done.
Right.
I'll have the number 4.
Yep.
Can you feel him doing it? Because you'd look a right prick if he didn't bother doing your back. Do you know if he sent you on?
Oh, it's like
And
cold.
sprayed
It's
your
freezing
front
cold and
teeth,
stuff.
tell
Well.
you.
It's ice cold there.
Because there's nothing funnier than a woman with a spray tan and she's missed a bit. Or even the best I ever saw was a girl, and apparently she'd do the spray tan, and she'd held her phone like that. So there was a fucking white, blue square. Because let's face it, but in terms of performing on stage, I mean, that has got to be, how long does an average show go? Because it seems to be like, there's so many different weight levels and so many different things.
So I'd done 2 shows at first, and then we're very fast, just local shows. And then when I'd done it was at the 2 Bros Amateur Olympia, there was like nearly 300 competitors, and it went over 2 days, and they're just so long. But it's like you've just got tons of people in the crowd, and you've got like 3 people on the table at the front that are there to see you, but them have to sit there and watch tons of people that they just don't give a shit about. And it's like, if you're on last, you've just got to sit there and wait, and the whole day is a nightmare. And all you want to do is just get on so you can eat after, because you're just sick, man. That's why you don't get nervous. Like, you think you'd care, but you just want it to be done.
You just want to eat.
Yeah, and it's my mic just does not want to play. I don't know, it's a strange process of just wanting it to be over and done with, but you enjoy it, but then when it's done, it's like, I'm out. I just want it to be
is it true
done like that.
when you look your best, you're at your worst? But as in, like, you're starving,
You
you're
literally look like
dehydrated,
Superman sometimes, and you would not be doing anything to anybody. Nah, not a thing. You're just so fragile. How you look versus how you are is just two completely different things. When you're off season, like now, I feel way better than I do when I'm in prep. You run down to death. That's why it's so strange. Like when I was sat down there and you seen you broke all them things in your body, I'm just thinking like, would I fuck it on a bike again? But you just do it out. It's so bizarre. You just put yourself through it, and it's just 'cause it's what you like doing. But I don't know. It's just.
It's like folk think I'm.
Well, I wouldn't be
folk
doing
think
the shit
I'm
that
mad
you
for
do.
what I do, but then you look at bodybuilders and you're like, that's torture.
Nah, once
I mean, I think there's just as much up with you as there is with me.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the truth, eh?
Fuck that.
To their own degree, I'm not sticking forks in my head. You're off it.
I never stuck a fork in my head.
You
Somebody else
agreed
did.
to do it though, just for some.
No,
money.
never. I didn't agree
Right,
to do
so do
anything.
you know
Ding,
if
ding,
you
ding.
do all of that
Fork
other-
in the head.
I,
What do you do?
How did you not know that was not going to happen? Though, is it not like some kind of
happened-
mutual
that's
agreement
happened. I'm
beforehand?
getting flashbacks now. I'm getting flashbacks. That's not the only time I've been stabbed without knowing. There was Sabu.
oh, fuck.
Right.
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 How would you, right, we've got to be careful
Right.
here.
Oh,
How
God.
would you describe Sabu to somebody that has never ever experienced Sabu?
Is that a food?
Is that a food?
Sabu. No, I appreciate the way we were saying it.
It's like number
it sounds like
27.
Pakora. Is that racist? I think I've just cancelled myself. And I thought it was going to be
Just cancelled.
cutting the leg off a horse. But moving on. But the thing is,
Sabu is a legendary professional wrestler who is way more known than I am for that style. Like
Yeah, like the hardcore,
He took hardcore and added so much to it. But I just don't. It's hard to explain. The guy's an experience. Like he's just. You think it's a gimmick, and then you meet him, and I don't understand one bit of him. He's mental. I mean, he's utterly mental, and his body's just scarred up. He's right. He had a match years ago, right? Born to be Wired, and it was a really serious barbed wire match, and he ended up getting his bicep basically slit his bicep, and his bicep fell out of his arm. Right, mid match. And
why would you laugh at that? That's somebody's fetish over there. Fuck yes.
so his bicep fell out of his arm, right? And they just kept wrestling because that's the game. You don't stop when you're injured like that.
Well, you can't just pull a white flag out.
No. Main
Not the
ev-
A
French,
white
you know.
flag. Game's a bogey.
the main event of a big pay-per-view, like this has been getting built for months. The two Sabu, Terry Funk, two maniacs. Something's going to happen here, but it wasn't meant to happen. But somebody just threw tape into the ring, and he just started taping his arm up. But as he's doing that, Terry Funk's still hitting him with moves, right? So he's just taping his arm up. Finished the match. Now this was I wrestled him 20 years later in Edinburgh, and he had a wee band around his arm. And I remember asking, because I was a fan, so I was like, is that then? He was like, yeah, it's the Born to be Wired match. It's never healed. So the wound had never healed, right? 20 years. I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't try and heal it. He's just, I'd put hairspray in it probably. And
He was at the Royal Infirmary. Another one of these guys.
So Sabu was late to this show, and it was a big match for me. And I walked in, and he was like, hey, I'm Sabu, and shook my hand. And that was all. And he went, well, I'll see you in there. And as I went to walk out the door, he snapped a wooden coat hanger and put the spike in his boot. And I never saw him again until I started the match. So I knew it was in there, but I didn't know when it was coming out. And he's so fucking unpredictable. The guy is a maniac. And we're hitting. I turned around and he just got this spike out his boot and just fucking stabbed me. Boom, right in the forehead. This is a theme, right?
I proper downplayed wrestling, I swear to God. I had no idea it was like this.
He's shaking himself just.
Oh, that's like so seen to me.
What you don't know is you guys are wrestling each other tomorrow.
Yeah, come
Madness,
sit over
eh?
here, son. It's a lot safer.
I need to
There you
swap
go.
seats
But
now.
at this point in time, I carried a big oversized corkscrew. It was like a gimmick that I carried with me, right?
Oh, it's a gimmick, aye.
Yeah, it was real, right? And he just went, get the corkscrew. And I was like, okay. So I got it. He was like, stab off. and just asked, he was like, let's do a stab off.
Stab off.
I'm like, I can't, you're my hero, I can't start. But we never got to plan it, so like, I'm like, fuck it, boom, and I stabbed him, and he stabbed me, and I stabbed him, and the blood's pouring down my face. I'm thinking, this is fucking amazing, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Right? So then I get back, and I was like, he was like, what the fuck with that? I was like, oh my God, you told me, like, I'm sorry, you told me. He's like, no, fucking hit me with it. And he gave me into trouble for not stabbing him hard enough, right? Not stabbing him hard enough. And then the next day, this is where the arm thing comes in, right? This is fucking horrible. But I was sitting, I was like, what's with is that the, but he was like, yeah, it never healed. And he went, look, and he pulled the sleeve off his arm, right? He pulled the sleeve off his arm, and there was a hole in his bicep. And he squeezed his arm, and like custard came out this hole and ran down his arm.
And a finger fell out. Boom.
I missed that joke, but I walked in, I heard the finger chat. So this guy's so he was mad. He was mad, and you've met him, like the guys.
Sabu, we did a tour of ICW around the country, and what got me is every single time I would see Sabu, he would thank me for the match we'd had the night before. I'm not a wrestler. I never wrestled Sabu, but I was so scared of him. We'd come up and go, hey man, thanks for that match right now, last night, and I go, right on.
Do you mind just to watch the Osbournes and you think, he doesn't know where he is.
He's fucking...
Sharon bounces him through life like an old washing machine. That's Sabu. I don't think Sabu knows where he is from day to day. He just gets up and he just does his thing. And his body's so wrecked. And when I wrestled him, I was like, Sabu, you don't have to... he broke his collarbone 2 days before in America and still flew to Scotland. I was like, you don't need to do the flip to the outside. He's like, no, people are paying to see Sabu. They'll see Sabu. But then, like, I fed to the outside waiting to catch this dive, and he missed me by about 3 meters and just went right over the top rope and just landed on the and I'm like, oh no, like, he's dead. His broken collarbone, and then he just got up and just kept going. And they had the tour bus at the time. So, right, and he just kept manifesting places. I don't know where he came from, but the theme was he kept falling down the stairs. So he fell down the stairs of the tour bus because he walked backwards and tumbled down, landed on his feet and just walked. Just kept walking. And then he did the same in the venue in London. He was talking to me and Drew. And Drew was doing the thing where Drew took a drill to my head that night. And then Sabu was like, you guys are crazy. I'm like, you're fucking Sabu. And then he took one step back, fell down all the stairs, landed on his feet, he just kept walking away. Like, I've never known anybody like him. He's fucking fat. And he can smell tables, right? Because I kept hiding tables from him because I knew he was going to put me through them. So I was like hiding the tables in the venue because if he can't find them, I won't need to go through it.
Right.
And then you'd be in the ring.
Such a weird logic. I've got to hide tables.
Because I knew, like, if they're there, he's going to either hit me with it or put me through it. So I was hiding them. And he was finding them mid-match. Like, it was the easiest, like they were right in front of him.
You said there was no tables!
He did the same thing in ABC. Like, when he was stabbing me with the thing, and I rolled to the floor to escape him for a bit. And I looked up, and he had a 20-foot ladder above his head. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? He didn't even leave the ring. I love him. He's mad. He's crazy. So that's Sabu. That's how I would describe Sabu.
Calvin, have you ever had a stab off with any of your idols?
No.
Have you?
No, I've never heard anything like you. Oh, I'm not even comfortable sitting here. He's fucking out of his mind. That's going on. He's crazy.
He's literally freaking the fuck out. What I don't know is Sabu is here tonight. No.
Imagine.
I just imagine. But in terms of wild experiences, like you say, going and doing the bodybuilding competitions and what have you, you've got to have seen some sights, whether or not it is, like, I mean, everyone, you see weird sights in your life. There's got to have seen some weird things, whether or not it is just these huge hulking men walking around with it. I mean, there's no way of describing it, the wee tiny pouches. I mean,
I don't take like offence to that at all.
No, at all.
It's just not normal.
I mean, there's got to be one of those, like, there's got to be a bodybuilder that comes on every now and then with just a massive hammer, and you're like, how the fuck do you hide that? I've always wondered.
Yeah, I don't think I could do bodybuilding.
Genetics.
You could have a go. What you don't know is we've got some pouches. This actually doubles.
I've had that in my face. Oh, no.
You've had it in my face. All right, sorry. I looked away for a second. But what is some of the weirdest experiences you think you've had at the competitions? Because there's got to be some weird ones.
Nah, the literally just what you've just said there. Like the debate of whether to put a sock down or not is about as wild as it gets. Other than that, it's literally like just people being very, very unhealthy.
Oh, fuck.
Swear on, like it's not even like.
Are they like you know the way different sports? I don't know what wrestling's like or whatever, but are they like pro for each other? Do you know what I mean? Like, would they look at you and go, "Oh, try and run you down," or would they go, "Fuck man, you look well," or
Honestly, it just depends on the people. I think that'll just be in every single sport as well. You just get good people and bad people wherever you go. But for the most part now, like bodybuilding seems to be like a big uplift thing. Like gyms and that's getting crazy, and with Instagram, everyone wants to compete and stuff, and it's just like. I would say it's getting a lot more positive now, but there's definitely some nasty people in the game now that just.
Anybody you want to give a bit of smack talk to right now?
I just keep out of it, all the drama now. Well, I just stay in my own lane and do
What's their name? What's their full names?
What's their fucking address, Calvin? I don't like the idea that someone's been mean to you.
What's their Twitter?
I'm not giving him no names of anything.
No.
Hey, Billy, I'm going to bring him to the fucking TT. I'm going to win every race. He's
imagine
just gonna
that.
be stood there.
One of your opponents going in a corner and you just fucking hits them with a spoon. Sorry, fork. I had no idea why I said spoon. I am from Ayrshire though. We do use them a lot. Smacking up in that. But the thing is, in terms of travelling, right, one of the big things, everyone here, you guys have had to do so much travelling, going up and down the country. I know you've been over doing like hardcore matches across Europe and Germany and amongst other places. What is the experience like in Europe when you're trying to do what you're over there? Are the Germans into? I nearly said, are the Germans into hardcore? And every guy in here knows that that's a fact. All right, we don't. Oh, that's fine. I clear my browser history when I go home like everyone else in this fucking room. What's your 3-word porn search? No. But what's the experience like when you're going and wrestling across Europe?
It depends. Like, it depends what you're doing and how long you're there for. If you're there for a couple of days, it can be quite good. Right. But like the German deathmatch tournaments, you were there and then back on the same day. And because it's a tournament, you're wrestling multiple matches that day. So. You know, you wrestle the first one, you advance to the next one, and then that match needs to get worse. Yeah. And then you win that one, and the third match needs to get worse because, you know, it's getting, you know, the main event needs to be off the charts. So, like, I had no idea how long they lasted. So, the first one that I did, I wrestled a guy, and I'm not a big fan of, like, overly gimmicky stuff, you know, like taking bumps onto Lego and all that shit. I don't like it. I think it's a bit corny, right? But they insisted that I did a Christmas death match while I was there. Right?
Christmas death match?
Christmas death match. So
well,
it was
fucking talk about being topical.
But it was I think it was July. But it was just, so I was rolling my eyes like, this is going to be fucking shite. Yeah. But it had like a Christmas tree wrapped in barbed wire. And they had like the big snow shovels, you know, the big Home Alone snow shovels. Them in a big bucket full of Christmas baubles.
And the pigeon woman over in the corner.
Aye, the pigeon woman. Aye. So I was like, this is going to be shit. So I had the guy down and I was angry at having to do it. So I was picking the baubles up and I was just smashing them over his head, hitting them over his head. Because I thought they were like plastic, but they were glass. Oh, fuck. Like really, really fine, like light bulbs, that fine. So like I'm doing this and they're so sharp that I'm not feeling it. So my hands are all slashed up. I cut on between my fingers. And this poor bastard's lying on the floor, fucking pissing me blood. But I'm not even looking at him, I'm just going, fucking Christmas death match, raging. And then I looked down and there was blood everywhere, right? So then we did the first match and then advanced into the second one. But I thought, I'll be different. No, I did the second match and I got my head burst open and I thought, I'll be different. I'll leave it the way it is so that when I walk out for the third one, it looks gory. You know, I won't clean myself up. But there was like 5 hours between that match and the next one. So all these German guys that never spoke English just were like, who's this weirdo that won't have a shower? Because I just sat, just waiting. I was like, having food, reading my book, and my hair was everywhere and covered in blood. And then the guy that I was wrestling in the third match, I said to him, like, you know, I've got methods for doing this stuff, right? But I says, just don't put the wire on my arm and I'll do the moving. All right, just don't whip me with it.
So there is some negotiating in there.
But it's not because I'm negotiating my own my own health here. So it's like don't just because I could tell he was new and he was clumsy. But anyway, he grabbed my hand, so my arm was fully, and he just started whipping my arm with this wire. So like I've got a scar from like the top of my shoulder to my elbow because of it. So then I've rolled to my stomach, and he's just got this like halo of wire and like flung it over my head. Instead of putting it on my forehead, it went into my eyelids.
Is this still barbed wire?
This is still barbed wire.
I
So
just toned it down and said wire. So he's still a fucking psychopath.
electrical wire.
It's just a bit of string, he's just whipping it with
Whipping
it.
me with a bit of string.
If you were a mouse, it'd fucking leave a mark.
So then that was like in my eyelids. So like I'm genuinely trying to get my hands in there to stop this guy from blinding me, and I can't say fucking stop it because I don't speak German, right? So I'm just like,
Anybody speak German?
Yeah, what's stop it in German?
What's stop it in German? Halt!
Huh?
Scheiße, that shit, mate. Scheiße, Pfizer.
you've made
Fucking
that
hell,
up.
we've got an
You have
anti-vaxxer
made
in
that up.
Camden.
Scheiße. Say something. Scheiße Pfizer. You've made
Scheiße,
that up.
Pfizer. Halten!
So when you're over there, then you're straight. No, sorry. So I stayed that night, but then you're not meant to. I was so cut up that you're not meant to shower because you don't stop bleeding. And then like it's always the awkward plane journey on the way home, where like you've just got your hair up in a bun, and you can see that it's all covered in blood. And I had like my arm was all, and I was too warm, so I took my hoodie off, and my arms all ripped up, and you can just see the poor wee woman standing beside me like that. Fucking, who's this creep? I'm just like, I'm sorry, in German. I don't know what to say here.
You put in German at the end of it. In German, I'm sorry.
Ich bin sorry.
Ich bin Scheiße.
So it's like if you're there for a while, you can have a shower and go and see the sights. But if not, you're just in the airport, saturated in blood,
Fucking
dying to
hell.
get up the road.
I'd like to officially apologise to anything I said about wrestling because he's blown.
I'm in the same boat, mate. I got booed and I was like, oh shit, this fucker's going to kill me after
you've
this.
absolutely blown my mind. It's a prime example but of what everybody thinks as being normal. Do you know what I mean? Like I have mates that are boxers and stuff, and I took Carl on the back of the bike once, and it just
Carl Frampton,
he's
by the
like
way,
2-weight world champion. And I swear to God, when he got off after 4 minutes, whatever the lap took, I could have flicked him and he'd have fell over. He was just physically and mentally fucked because his brain thought that was mad. And then I got in to have a go at sparring him in the ring, and I swear to God, there was one guy hitting me from there, there was somebody else hitting me from there, and somebody was jumping. I just couldn't, I was fucking...
It is, but it becomes normal if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Like what you do to me would be fucking terrifying. Do you know what I mean?
If only we could combine the two.
Why can't we?
I don't want barbed wire on my motorbike.
No, what I was thinking of, next time he has a match, you come on in the bike, just going round the ring.
I'll hold them down, you run over them.
Mate, what an idea.
And then I'll stab them with a fork. Payback. So, no, but like that, like I went on the back of my mate's bike one time. And this isn't going mega fast. This is just like driving speed. And I just remember I was like, this is cool. I was loving it. Until I just thought, I was like, if he goes over a pothole here, I'm away. Like, I'm putting my entire life in this fucking idiot's hands. It was Barry Young. So I'm like, you know, it's everything. You're like, this is great, man. My hair was, and then I was like, and it just the realization hit me, and I'm like, slow down. And then I'm like this. I went from being like all cool in the back of it to be like, Barry, slow down. So, you completely normal going at whatever fucking crazy speed you go. But, I suppose it's just, you get used to it. Just like I got used to being
Even doing a comparison to that, people getting into your world, I mean, they must think they're fairly fit. I put time in the gym, and then they get their minds blown by what you do, Calvin.
But I'm saying, just everyone's normal, innit?
Yeah.
Everyone's just tapped in their own little way, and you just find what you like doing. And I like, you would call him that, what's he called, Sabu?
Sabu.
You're letting him do that shit to you as well?
Yes, that's the
It's
thing.
like,
It's
that's
like if you're
your
going to get a
normal.
boxing match or whatever, you know, you're kind of, you might come out all right. But with a lot of these things, like, I know before I get through the curtain, like, I'm going to come back here injured. I know I am.
That's the difference, right? Because there is a chance that we might get hurt. So in our heads, we're always going, oh yeah, I'll be all right. But he's completely accepting in his own fucking head that he's going to get hurt before it happens. Do you know what I mean? He knows. It's like playing rugby or something. You know you're going to get fucking smashed in the face.
It's like when you start factoring in the hospital visit afterwards. Yeah. You know, like you know what I mean? Like, I'll be home about this time because I'll need to go to the hospital. Like, I know that before I even get in the ring. You know, it's wee things like that, and like people you're all staring at me like that's fucking crazy. But it's the same thing. It's like, you know, like
And would that still be on your hourly rate? Because I wouldn't be going there if I wasn't getting paid.
No, like, I mean, I wouldn't mind sitting in the hospital for 8 hours if I was still getting paid for it. But that's why I just.
But that's the difference. You've got to factor in a hospital visit when you've had a wrestling match. I've got to do that when I take my kids to a soft play. Do you know what I mean? Dad, come on and play. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm going to be pissing out a hamstring by the end of this. But that's what we want to lighten the mood. I'm not going to mention death. To lighten the mood. Because I felt arseholes going like, please don't. And we got to talk about some of your fun experiences, all of yous, away from the sports you do. Like, I know this might be the weirdest thing to say, but Jester, I know, is probably known in some ways as the king of Benidorm, because we were talking about some of the weird experiences that we've had all over. What do you think is going to be some of your funnest experiences away from the world of pro wrestling? Because we've all done weird things. We've all cut the legs off a horse. We've all done... I've cut legs off a horse once, right? And I don't like... The horse was dead, and I didn't kill it. It's important you know that. I didn't kill the fucking horse! It was a bad horse. It was Prince Andrew's horse. No, the thing is...
That reminds me of a story we'll get to.
Good.
Before I forget, right? We were wrestling in Fort William one time, and we were...
throwing in a drop of that, the fucking Las Vegas of the North.
Yeah, one of the nice gigs.
One of the nice ones.
And we were driving back, and this is a bit of a horrible story, but we were on the car, and you know, you kind of, after like an hour, everybody's just silent, looking at their phones. It's dark, you're tired, you've just wrestled, and it was silent. And then I just heard my mate in the front seat just screaming, and then bang, and a deer had just jumped onto the road, and we just ploughed through it like 70 mile an hour, right? So I'm like, I just felt sick, right? So.
But you still wrestled it.
I still stabbed it in the head. So I'm like, what do you do? Because it didn't die. Oh. So I was like, shit. And it was just looking at me. And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. And then my mate was with me, Bram. And we were just sitting, and everybody was like scratching their heads. And he just went like, a wee bit of silence, went, beat it to death with a rock. I'm like, am I beating a deer to death? Well, you do it. I'm not beating it. So, Benidorm.
Imagine that first hit and it didn't work. Poof. Oh, fuck's sake.
I mean, I know.
You've just got a pissed off deer then.
I know, just me sobbing my heart out, just kicking fuck out of a dying deer. That's no.
Imagine somebody driving past after the wrestling match, watching him beat a deer up on his way home.
Crying, dripping with blood.
That's like a neighbour of mine knocked. This is a true story. A neighbour of mine knocked on the door and went, "I'm really sorry, but I think your cat Sootie's been hit by a car. I've put him at the bottom of the driveway." I was like, "Oh fuck, wee black and white thing." I was gutted, absolutely gutted. I have to tell Helen and the kids. Walk through to tell Helen and the kids, Sootie's dead. As they're sitting there stroking Sootie. So now I've got a dead cat at the end of my fucking driveway.
But what do you do with that? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I've never been in a situation to have to dispose of a brutally injured deer. So what do you do with a strange cat dead in your driveway? There must be like a system for it.
Burgers.
But I didn't know the system of
it's called your
putting
neighbour's
a deer
driveway.
out of its misery on the back roads of Fort William.
What's that, sir? Put next to the curly fries. Finger, dead cat. Curly fries.
Sabu.
He just jumps out on you. But we were talking earlier about Benidorm, right? Now, you've got to share with us some of your stories of Benidorm. We're talking about, apparently Sticky Vicky's retired, which I was heartbroken when I heard.
Oh, aye, she put a shift in. But she's not been, I've never seen Sticky Vicky. I've never had the honour.
Well,
but
she's here tonight. No.
Her and Sabu.
What a way to end the show.
I'd freak out. So Sticky Vicky, how famous? Everybody's heard of Sticky Vicky.
Hang on, does everyone know who Sticky Vicky is?
Right.
Right. All right, let me ask this question a different way. Who doesn't know who Sticky Vicky is? One hand going up at the back.
So, Sticky, I need to
No.
Right. No. Okay.
Right.
So Sticky Vicky.
You know how, like, a Vauxhall Zafira? Imagine that, but it's a fanny. Very roomy. You can get the family in it. Fill it with diesel. We buy any car, I'll give you a decent price for it. Don't even fucking dare. That's the best frame of reference I've got.
So Benidorm is just it's the most mental place. I love it, right? I love it. It's just custom made for having a laugh. But you never, every time you turn around, you're shocked. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And you're not gone to see these things. Like, you don't walk into the pub and go, oh, I'm going to go see this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens when you're in there. And like the first one I saw, we were in a pub called the Red Lion. And there was like, no, bear in mind, there was like people eating here. Like, it was like 3 PM, people having their fish and chips and stuff like that. And we were just sitting having a drink, and then we just hit, and then the tune came on. Dun 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 dun. Dun.
What, the fucking
Right.
Darth Vader march from
Yes,
Star Wars?
right. So, dun dun. Like, all right, cool. And then Princess Leia came out on, one of the wee segways, the wee hoverboards, the wee balance things with the wheels on it that Wayne's use.
Right.
Right, is that what they're called?
Yes, I
Right,
think so.
Came out, so I'm like, okay. And then Darth Vader came out behind her. Also on one of these wee things, right? And so I was like, but they were kind of doing figures of 8 and all that. And I thought maybe it's like just a wee thing, just a wee dance show or something. And then Darth Vader took his cloak off.
Oh, fucking hell.
And he was just wearing the helmet, right? But his willy was offensive, man. Right? And I just remember Andy, right, Rudo,
Yeah.
just stood and he was like, and my mate just couldn't get his head around it because he was just going, why is that? That's a funny shape. And he just kept going, his willy's all shiny. His willy's all shiny, right? But then Princess Leia goes to the other end of the bar on the Segway, turns round, bends over, and reverses back right into him. Like, right in.
What, like accidentally?
No, she didn't knock him down. She didn't bunch.
She wasn't trying to park.
Well, you know what women are like at driving. Fucking hell.
So she reversed onto.
He was standing there ready to receive her, and then they've took a wee trip round the pub, connected to each other, weaving in and out the tables where there was people eating. Like, and there's like old people. Like I said, you just go in. There's no sign of this is happening at 3 o'clock, and there's just old people like, and they're dun, 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 and then it just got really acrobatic, and then he had her upside down, and
So
it was
when-
mental.
God, that's hot. When he's shagging her, does he shout, I am your father?
William, Jesus.
What?
Jeez.
Fucking, I would expect all right, that's outrageous. But Princess Leia reversing onto Darth Vader's dick. Still better than episode 1.
But Andy just kept. But then obviously there must be like some sort of method to do because they're doing like 7 shows a day, right? So Andy clocked it and he was like, he's tied his willy up. He's tied, and apparently that's the thing. He had like a cable tie around his willy to keep it looking angry.
That's what you need to do, Calvin.
Save the sock, I'll just cable tie.
Throw these socks away and get some cable ties. So,
Who's the guy that goes to B&Q?
what are they for, sir?
Well, actually,
Well.
this is my friend, Darth Vader.
So that's just one of them.
Right.
Then there's Then there's the Mickey and Minnie.
Oh, fucking
Right.
hell.
So that's just grim.
Not Mickey.
That's just
not
grim.
Mickey
right?
and Minnie.
That's a hard thing to watch. Sorry, difficult thing to watch. Right, Mickey and Minnie. But then
That's a difficult thing to watch, but what you could learn from that sentence is, but he watched it.
I got through it. So Sticky Vicky, I miss Sticky Vicky. Sticky Vicky was like when my parents used to go to Benidorm, but now they've got Sticky Star. Right. The Sticky Star. I don't
What's
know.
the rumour about Sticky? So Sticky Star's like the sequel.
What I heard was that you talking about the
Yeah,
husband thing.
the rumour, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
So I thought she was Sticky Vicky's daughter
Yes.
or niece, but then, I mean, you passing the torch on to your daughter, doing that's weird. I mean, she's Sticky Vicky, so I don't think she really cares. But apparently she's married to the chief of police in Benidorm, which I I find hard to believe.
Yeah.
If you're the chief of police and your wife,
How was work today, dear? Stopped a couple of bank robberies. You know, what did you do? I put a soda stream up my fanny. I don't know why I picked a soda stream. I was trying to, that was the biggest thing I could think of. And it was from 1991.
But there must be, I don't know how she does it, there must be, I don't know if it's trickery, or it must be trickery, or it's just practice. But she's got a wee guy narrating it as well. She's got like a wee DJ that comes with her, and everything she pulls out, he goes, sausage, banana, apple, and it starts off, small.
She
like
makes a
small.
fucking fruit salad.
She does, and then an American football.
Oh, fucking hell.
A walking stick. A full-length walking stick.
Some perry old man somewhere hobbling around Benidorm.
But this is 4 PM, and folk are still eating, and she's just parading about, doing this, and then she puts a light bulb up there, and it comes on. She lights it up. Right, but then it just keeps getting worse and worse, and the finale is she gets somebody up, and there's just like a wee string, and they grab it, and she runs round the pub, and all the flags of the world come out, like bunting, and then she just leaves everybody like this. She does that all day, every day.
That's like everyone's normal.
Aye. See if she was here. If she was here talking about it, she'd be like, I mean, you get stabbed, and this guy poses in his pants, and he drives at 400 mile an hour. But this is normal to me. Boop.
Hey,
Flowers. Boop.
Who do you think pays her though?
Who do you think pays her?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Each bar she goes
I don't think she needs money.
You don't think she needs money?
I think she's just
freelance.
No, as in like there's no need for money. Everything's free because she's Sticky Star. Like she's so famous.
I thought you meant like she was
people don't charge her. She doesn't pay for her
I thought
McDonald's.
I thought you meant she was like self-employed. Just imagine her putting her expenses through apples.
Doing her invoice.
Yeah, fucking hell, Jesus! The amount of money I'm spending on stuff to put up my fanny.
Retractable walking stick. 12
Right,
euros.
I think we could take some questions. We've actually got a prize for the best question. I mean, I've had far too many about Sticky Star, to be honest. But if we do have any questions, by all means, now is the time to put up your hands or shout out. Even we've got we've got a couple. First of all, we've got a gentleman over here, sir.
So, the right guy, if you've had a really bad spill, what's your journey from getting out of the hospital to getting back on a racetrack? What are the steps, and how do you deal with the nervousness of doing it again?
All right. Taking a spill on the bike, journey back to doing it again from injury.
If you're really, really lucky, normally the best thing is when you get knocked out, you don't remember anything. So then you've got no... I've actually got a funny story with this. So when I had that big crash at the TT, obviously I got knocked out, didn't remember being on the island, nothing. And then I was back a few months later for the classic TT. Forgot all about it, wasn't thinking about it or anything, sitting on the start line, just about to set off, and the classic's a little bit less busy, so more people get up on the start line. I'll never forget this old dude, 75-year-old, comes walking up to me. I'm literally about to set off. He goes, "Oh, you won't have been round since you hit the wall at Greeba Castle, will you?" I went, "No," and he went, "All right then," and he fucked off.
Just reminding you.
Yeah, I was like, at what point in your fucking head would you ever think that's a good idea? So, sorry for getting off topic, but normally, yeah, so if you get a big bang on the head, you don't remember it, so it's pretty easy, but if you don't, it's normally it's your job, innit? Like, so you just figure out the time. Normally, I work on time frame, so like that same crash, when I was in the hospital or whatever, my missus said, I'd asked for like the date and stuff to figure out how long I had till, I think it was the Ulster Grand Prix, it was 3 months after. And she said, I asked the surgeon or the doctor, she says, "Oh, how many days for this, that, and the other?" And I don't remember any of this, but she told me. And the doctor was like, "Oh, why are you asking this for being fit to walk?" And I said, "No, because that's when the Ulster Grand Prix is." And I says, "Oh, I'll be back." And he basically said, "Oh, don't be fucking stupid." And then I got there, right, and I finished on the podium, and I was fucking fuming because I didn't win. And I was just about to get interviewed for the TV, and my sister she's like a few years older, so she's always told me what to do. But she was there, luckily enough, and just as they were about to interview me, she grabbed hold of me and she said, "Just remember what you've been through before." And I was about to start bitching and whining because I hadn't won like a spoiled brat. So only for that I would have sounded like a spoiled brat. So this one time she pulled me out of the shit. But yeah, it's just a process. You break it down, you get hurt, you go, right, my leg's going to take this long. If I go in the oxygen chamber, it'll take less. If I lie on radioactive tables, it takes less. If I take this, it takes less, and whatever. Don't take tablets because that slows it down, and you go through all these processes of suffering just to go back and.
Because surely, like a doctor, their first instinct would be like, "You're never doing that again." But then you're like, "Well, that's not an option." Like I used to get it all the time as well. You can't wrestle at the weekend, but I have to, and they don't get it. You know what I mean? It's your job. It's not just like.
It's lucky for us. So when, like, if we're at big events like the TT or British Championship, we have the same doctors, or they go around. So the BSB people, and I have like my personal doctor and stuff that I use. So basically, if I was getting an operation or surgery, I'd ring them, or somebody if I wasn't able, my missus or someone would ring them to see what is the best thing to do, rather than maybe get some, not running down the NHS or anything, but get some young surgeon that would maybe take your foot or your leg off if that was the safety thing to do, you know, for a normal person, whereas that would screw my career. Do you know what I mean? Like Hutchie's a perfect example. If that was a normal surgeon, they would have took his leg off. So yeah, I've got that embedded in my missus, that's sort of a procedure to go through if I'm not around. You know, make sure and ask these questions and stuff, not to go. But yeah, the doctor, it's actually a female doctor. Heike is our BSB doctor and everything, and they're completely normal to them, our injuries. So they don't treat you as like a waste of money to the NHS, because they're privately paid to be there to be your doctor.
It's just mad. It's like there's a wrestler called Drew McDonald who died a few years ago, but just the hardest man I'd ever met in my life, and he broke his back taking it's called a beel. So like you're in the top rope and somebody will flip you off the top rope to the floor.
Yeah.
And it's just concrete. So let's say it was maybe 8 feet, 9 feet. And when he landed, he finished the match, but then he woke up the next day and he couldn't feel his legs, like he was paralysed. So he went to the hospital and they performed surgery on him. Like, so the funny thing is, he had tattoos all over his back, and he insisted that they match his tattoos up like wallpaper. So when they did the surgery, like they stitched them up so that his tattoos matched. You know what I mean? So then told, like, you'll never wrestle again. Like, that was it. And I think it was maybe 8 or 9 months later, he was back in the ring. And just to prove to himself that he could still do it, he took the same bump. He climbed the top rope and got thrown off to the concrete floor again, just to prove that he could survive it. I'm like, that's a kind of mind frame that's fucking crazy. It's like for you to get back on a bike after something scary like that, and not be terrified of every corner and every, you know, you need to switch off to it. You're never ever going to get any further.
And the big thing for him is everybody wants to end on their own terms. Do you know what I mean? That's like, well, for any sports person, it must be so hard. Like, especially if you could walk out at the top of your career, or whatever, if you won a big match or a TT or whatever, and go, right, I've had enough now, that's it. But unfortunately, that's not what happens a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for people that don't do a sport or anything like that to understand. Go, why do you want to do that? And there's just something in you. It's why do you get up to go to work in the morning?
You have to do it. Like, it is. It's a compulsion. Do you know what I mean? It's what you love doing, and then it does sound mental for other people, but I think it's that anything, whether it's a knee injury, you're going to work around your knee. But if you let that dominate, you're never going to get past it. I think you just need to mentally switch off to it, which is.
As a sportsman myself, I totally agree.
What?
How dare you? How very dare you? I am Ayrshaw's hide and seek champion in 1996. It's a fucking tough year, but I got on the podium. Fantastic question. Big round of applause if you don't mind. Yes. We're another one right at the back. Sorry, a hand up. If you ever got the chance, would you have wrestled New Jack?
I would have wrestled New Jack. I talk about this quite often. So New Jack, for people who don't know wrestling, New Jack was I can explain Sabu and make him sound decent, but New Jack was
a Johnny. Kind of like a gangster Johnny.
I was like a legit gangster that used to. He was dangerous.
Janitor. Somebody that looks after a school. I don't know what you'd call them.
Caretaker.
You never went to school, fuck.
Aye. We call them Jannies.
We call them
Caretaker,
Jannies.
aye.
Or in most school, pedos. No. It's all the schools I went to.
Stop saying that word.
Sorry, it's funny. It's the only time I get to say it. But it was kind of like, so the gimmick was he was a gangster. I think gangbanger is the phrase they actually
Gangbanger,
use.
that
No,
kind of
hang on.
I'm confused again.
No, gangbanger, fucking. The term
Aye,
is
I think that
gangbanger in the States in sort of the urban context. So he'd come out, he's got, he'd come out with loads of weapons and basically spend the match smashing you.
Yeah, but then he was really dangerous, and he would fly off the handle and just assault people. Yeah. Really assault people.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you actually does somebody ever just throw a rod out and just go, fuck this, you're having it? And do you actually proper
Not
smash?
so much anymore. Back in the day, when I was kind of younger, you would get people that were no chance in their luck, but try to prove to you. You know what I mean? They would beat you up. You don't deserve to be here, and they would try and make you kind of leave wrestling. Like when I went away and did my first full time kind of gig, I went from being like knowing people in Scotland to living down south, and nobody wanted me there, so they just beat the fuck out of me every single night. They would deliberately batter me, and they would drop me the wrong way. And there was this big giant that was on the team. He was like 7 foot. Just didn't like me. No for any reason, just because he was a prick. And he used to pick me up every single night and launch me so that I couldn't control my own fall, or just wee things like that. But you just took it because that was the test. You just had to go back and shake his hand and say thanks for the match, and then go and get angry somewhere else. That doesn't really happen anymore. The world's changed, and it fucking shouldn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? I know what that was like going through that, and I would never wish that upon anybody else. But there was people that would just chance their luck, and folk that say I work a kind of stiff style. Stiff means they'll hit you really hard. I'm like, well, that might be your style, but that doesn't mean that I want to be hit hard. You know what I mean? So you kind of talk over it. But New Jack, did just assault people. He would stab people and stuff in the ring, and he would slice your
nothing would happen about that after. Do you know what I mean?
See, this is the thing. That's where does it go? Where does it turn into actual assault? Because you're doing it in the context, all the stuff that's happened to me. If that happened in the street, they would get jail time for it. But they don't, because it's agreed. But this stuff wasn't agreed. He would just have a bad day and he would just attack you and stab you. So the question is, would I would have wrestled him. I wouldn't have wanted to wrestle him because I wouldn't have trusted him. And I didn't really that style. You've got kind of hardcore, and then you've got that, which is just chaos. But if I was wrestling him, I think it would be you would have a couple of people backstage ready. If I need you, I'll call you out. But you want it to be entertaining. You want the people to enjoy it. You don't want to be in there constantly with your back up, thinking, "Is this guy going to attack me here?" Because that's not what they're there to see. They're there to see.
It's about entertaining.
It's entertaining. And if you think that a guy just attacking a guy and stabbing him in the face, and you know what I mean? I'm saying that like other stories I've just told. That was consensual, right? But it was just very, very dangerous. And he was in his interviews and stuff. He didn't apologise for it. He got off on being that, unpredictable, dangerous. People were nervous and frightened to wrestle him. But obviously with ICW, it's the perfect company for somebody like him to come to. But Dallas would never have booked him, simply for that reason. So. Would I have wrestled him? Yes. Am I glad that I didn't have the chance to? Yes.
There we go. Fantastic question. Big round of applause if you don't mind. Yes. Right. We're kind of getting into the final thing, mate. So are we going to let Jester hit someone with a chair? No. What a way to end the show. Every one of you is going to get hit in the head with a corkscrew. Sorry about that. And you've got to lose another finger. I do apologise.
You said he'd paid the diesel. You've got to work for it, haven't you? So I might as well chop another one.
Another finger?
Oh, yeah, he's missing a finger. Sorry, you missed
you're missing a finger.
That's
Do
it.
you ever fuck
I feel like a total soft shite looking at you and nodding there.
Do you ever fuck with kids at all? Do you ever just sit there going...
That's a bit of a straight out question, that one. Isn't
Fuck with kids. Fuck with kids.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life right now. There you go. It's just, no, I haven't.
No, you never done it?
Do rings stay on?
rings don't even look like they get on that. That's girthy as fuck at the top. It's so
I
big.
tell you what, it's,
That was the
I tell you-
creepiest thing anyone said on this
was
stage all
so
night.
funny.
That's girthy as fuck at the top.
It's bad when your missus goes, "Can you pull out and put it back in?" You know, that's when you know your marriage is over, isn't it?
Well, anyway, on that note, any other questions? No, we're happy with that.
But we're going to end it on that note. Are we actually going to end
It
it
looks
on that
like we might be ending on that note. Guys,
I've never seen him stuck for words.
all right, the reason I cut the legs off a horse. No, it's... guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on the 100th episode of Braw Cast, ladies and gentlemen. They thought we'd never make it past 4. Fucking 100 episodes, yes! Exciting news is, this is a little bit of a placeholder. Obviously, we wanted to do the Braw Beard and Mustache Championships. Jester, you've been a judge at that. Always a fucking absolute,
Amazing. What a
absolute
crazy night.
scream. We couldn't do them this year because, it was on and off with beards and COVIDs and all that type
I
of...
took a guy to the cat house
Yes.
who had a beard shaped like a boat.
Last
If
year...
that's not an advert for this, you need to come. It's fucking mental.
It's so much fun.
I saw a
Is that
real-
the German guys?
Yes.
Man, they smell amazing.
I know, like the full shebang,
They
lederhosen.
like, the boys smell amazing. What? He smelled nice.
It was just an observation. It's not.
Just an observation, isn't it?
There's no
Like-
comedy in it. He's just saying
Like
something
shag
nice.
him.
But like these guys are like full lederhosen, like hat with a big feather in it, beards were honestly crazy, mental. And I just thought, like, I need to take you to the cat house. I need to attention seeker.
Yes.
I was like, I just want to kick about with these two guys.
Who is this George Bowie with the bits and pieces?
And honestly, they were like superstars in there because if you see a guy whose beard looks like a boat, you're getting a photograph of that person. You know what I mean? What's the big long moustache? It's Fu Manchu. Is that-
Fu Manchu, yeah.
No, I've only seen them in like Tam Shepherd's.
Oh, is that the dude out of Kung Fu Panda?
Yes, that I saw a real one. This guy's got a real moustache, right? But it's like comes to like here, long down there. Mental. It's fucking great.
I'd
Come
have,
to
I'd have a massive urge to cut the fucker off, so I would.
I think I'd tie it to people. When they're not looking, I'd just tie it. The fuck are you doing?
like-
You're the one that's caught in my beard, dickhead.
Did we know have two Vikings get engaged one year?
Aye, so that was James and Lorraine. They got engaged on stage in 2018, and I ended up going and marrying them in Portland.
You married them?
Aye.
Oh, did you?
Aye, man. They asked me to get ordained.
Oh, that's cool.
And go across to Portland and perform
Anybody
the
want to get
ceremony.
married?
It can only be in Oregon. I'm only
Lockdown's
qualified.
been hard, hasn't it?
It's mad, like honestly, the conversations you have because it's such a mismatch of people, like all over the world. Sitting talking to some guy from Texas with the most impressive handlebar moustache I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's great.
So it's going to be back next year, 2023.
Yep.
It's fucking happening.
Yep, Saturday the 18th February, we'll plan to be back on this stage with the Beard and Moustache.
There we go. So anyone, if you haven't got a beard now, get fucking growing. If you want to put it into the shape of a boat or a finger.
No, I don't. I've seen a boat already. Do something else.
Or you want something like a
I
camel.
won't. I'm just telling you, if you come with your beard like a boat, I won't be impressed because I've seen it. Do something else. Try and surprise me.
Grow it.
The ball is in your court.
Grow it, turn it into a bike. If you can cycle your head on stage, I will be fucking impressed.
What if your beard was your outfit?
Fuck, imagine. So you're on at one of your posing championships. Looks like that guy's just a beard. Fucking yes.
Aye.
Just imagine revealing it. I'd pay to see that. You don't have to fucking creosote anybody. Fake tan. Fuck is going on with that, man? I'm just dying to cover somebody in fence paint. We're going to be back in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed yourselves? And the rest of yous? Some of yous went, I'm not telling this fucking gypsy anything. He's going to go back to Ayrshire. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this one more time. Please, will you give it up for our fantastic guest? First of all, let's hear it from Mr. Lee Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Dom Herbertson. Calvin Gowland. And Jester. You can listen to broadcast every Sunday. You can see it online, but don't forget to hit the stand and buy some amazing. Have you got any sign? I feel like you should sign this one off.
I know, mate. I've been sitting here silent, enjoying the stories. It's been fucking brilliant. That's it, really. This is episode 100. We are recording it, so it will be on YouTube and Spotify, Apple, Google, all the good places.
Yeah, we will cut some
point.
stuff out. I don't want getting done for like cutting the legs off a horse.
Yeah, I might leave that in.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for JJ! We talked about how to end this. At one point we were talking about ending it with a sing song or something. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I did not see that happen. Everybody was kung fu fighting. All right, that was fucking weird.
50-50.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea. More people know that than fucking kung fu fighting. Sweet Caroline. Fucking yes, man. Next year we're having a fucking karaoke and beard and mustache championships. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever road you take home, make sure it's a safe one. On behalf of everyone at Broadcast, but of course, JJ, let's get you, send everyone home.
Yeah, thank you very much. Obviously, there's apparently a storm outside, so drive home safely, get home safely, and thank you very much for coming out. I really do appreciate it.
And just a quick update, there's a thing called COVID. We've just heard.
Just developed tonight, apparently.
Keep it to yourself. Basically, what you don't know is we're the monkeys from Outbreak. We're sending it home to England. I was out licking these mics this morning. A huge outbreak in Sunderland. They're not going to get mumps. Ladies and gentlemen, please look after yourself. This has been Broadcast 100. Yes!
Yes! Thanks, guys.